Now, okay, Israel. I hope everybody is doing well today. Like I said, we was doing this on Saturday. We're back on Monday. Hope everybody is doing well. Shout out to Word of Truth family, Cabo Cobb. I'm Yataza. Shout out to Stream of Wisdom, Houston, Virginia, Rochester, New York. Hope everybody's doing well over there. Once again, a reminder: the Passover we are going to celebrate it on the 31st of March, but it officially starts on the 23rd, sundown. So write that down, y'all. We will be starting on the 23rd and staying properly on schedule. We'll gather together on the 31st because that's what all of our schools have always done and found a way to kind of come together on that one day. But officially it's March 23rd, sundown, and that's when we will start it. Okay? But so get it in your Google machines, your Google devices. Get your reminder set up. It's a Saturday. March 23rd is a Saturday. So that's when we will celebrate the Passover. Also, just kind of a heads up with everybody on for those of y'all who haven't, I know, amongst all of the camps, we normally, contribute and give whatever money is possible to help with the Passover process, the food, the lodging, whatever. But for those of y'all who don't know and you're new to this, once I said for us not to come empty-handed. So when you do come to the Passover, for those who have not contributed, make sure you do. That is a law in the scriptures. It's not just a war making some things up. Don't come empty-handed when you come to the Passover. Bring something to support the actual process, the functioning of the building, the rental of the building, the food purchasing, all of the items inside the building. Catering. They were paid for. The catering came out of pocket. So make sure you consider, this isn't just some place you just grab snacks and grab lamb like it's chicken and get out of there. Make sure you consider that this is the Lord's Passover and everybody has to bring something to contribute. With that being said, the topic of the class is still on the vein of humility. Over the last, I guess, my 4 classes, and I think his too, Elisha's had a topic about humility. There's many different aspects of how the Most High demands humility from each and every one of us. One of the classes that dealt with humility dealt with an aspect in the form of humility is our obedience to the law. Another aspect of humility was how we served the poor. Okay? And today's aspect of humility that we're going to be hyper-focused on today is when you're humble, when you're in the spirit of humility, it's really the only way you can have peace of mind. Because all of us, every single one of us wants peace, wants happiness, wants to find that zen, wants to find that happy place, that place where you are acceptant of the things around you. And the Most High expects that of us also. And when we're truly humble is how the Most High brings that peace to us. And we're going to go into explanations about that. The first verse we're going to go into today in the scriptures is Jeremiah 23, verse 33 through 38. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 33 through 38. And this verse in particular explains a lot about the Israelite condition. Really the condition of man, but because we're here teaching Israelites, it's the Israelite condition. Okay? Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 33.
Yep.
And when this people, or the prophet, or a priest, shall ask thee, saying, what is the burden of the Lord? Thou shalt then say unto them, what burden? I will even forsake you, saith the Lord.
It's like the Most High is turned up on us. He says, when this people, talking about the Jews, or the prophets, so regular men, prophets, priests, start in their conversation asking about the burden of the Lord. You know what this verse is explaining? That the Jews had a habit from the highest to the lowest to express their version of the burden of the Lord.
Not just the bottom.
No, he saw what he said. He said the priest, the prophet, and the people
Everybody.
each came together when they communed with each other. They discussed the burden of the Lord. He was telling you before we fell, this was like an epidemic, man. Everybody had complaints about their condition.
So they're counting the cost of righteousness.
Yeah, because when it says what is the burden of the Lord, it's like tell me your complaint. I'm gonna tell you mine because I got some complaints.
Cause you know my brother works for UPS, right? And he says they complain all day in UPS, but he can't fire him because it's a union.
Yeah.
So they come and say, I don't even have to be. I can leave my anytime I can leave my. I want to go home.
Yeah.
And he can literally go home.
I'm not working on overtime. I'm not doing extra.
And you talk crazy to the boss. You can talk cray to the boss, but you can't get fired because they have a strong union in UPS. And we're acting like we're acting the same way. Like we can just
At the mall. Listen, for those who have worked the mall for years, what did everybody say? Everybody complained at the mall. Am I right or wrong? It was like, because one of the things I would tell brothers is like, listen, man, if you got to get in the spirit of conversation, you got to talk to the mall vendors before the customers come in. You get there at 9 o'clock. You organize the cart. You talking to walkers, but sometimes they're not there, bro. Sometimes you got to sit back here. It depends on the mall, bro. You go and you get your snack in the morning. You're in the rights where you're studying. You're reading your parchments. And then you sit back here, and this guy is like, what's up, man? He's slamming stuff down. Everything, oh, man, it's another damn day at the job. You're like, okay.
Another day in paradise.
It's going to be a slow one, man. You know it's going to be super slow.
Very slow, my
And I'm like, then it's the foreigner.
Very slow.
And normally he's more happy and upbeat than the regular guy.
Yeah.
It's true.
He's like, there's no customers, my friend. He comes in smiling. But by noon, he's like, there's no customers, my friend. How do they expect us to make money if there's no people here? And I'm like, it's going to be okay, my friend. It's my friend. It's going to be good. The money will come. The blessing will come, my friend. Cheer up, my friend. And it's like, okay, my friend, thank you very much. Thank you very much. But when it says in the scriptures that everybody from the prophet and priest to the damn regular people are talking about the burden of the Lord, that's what's happening now, and that's what happened then, because things written aforetime written for you what? Learning. So he says, as the nation was deteriorating, because that's all Jeremiah talked about, was the moral and spiritual deterioration of the people. You consistently see that everybody was down, everybody was upset, and they were consumed with what they weren't getting out the deal. And read verse 33 again.
Come on, Jeremiah 23 and 33.
I wasn't knocking what you're saying about, UPS or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about UPS in all walks of life.
Yeah.
You're sitting back when the brothers with their deliveries. I bet you everybody at the damn job at the warehouse is walking around with a frumpy face.
Yeah, or they're doing their vices.
to relax.
To relax.
Kinda.
On the morning, there's vices going on.
Yeah, and then they don't care. They just don't care when they're doing the work.
They're just not there.
They're not there. That's the other solution. That's what. Listen, Jake calls that wake and bake. Just so you know. Listen, the same thing. But that's what Jake does to get through the day, so that they're not literally out of their mouth sighing and crying. No, I don't even want to use the word sighing and crying because that's a spiritual thing. These people are talking about the burden of the Lord.
He's complaining.
Well, listen, man, me having to serve the Most High, there's all these things I got to deal with. Because, you know how many times I heard, because I was born in the truth, there was so many challenges to go through, man. That's the person, when the person talking about I was born in the truth and all the hell I caught being born in the truth, that's the burden of the Lord.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong? I was born in the truth. So that means life was supposed to be super hard for you?
Yeah.
It was just the burdens of the Jew. Well, I got the truth when I was 10 years old and all my life changed. Get out of here, man. Now I couldn't eat the sausage pizza and lunch no more. Come on, bro. But there's the mindset we have. When I came in the truth, all of a sudden hell broke loose and I experienced supernatural hell in my life when I chose to serve the Lord. Or my parents chose to serve the Lord for me. Now all of a sudden life is unhappy, it's unfair. So read verse 33 again.
Jeremiah 23 and 33. And when this people, or the prophet, or a priest shall ask thee, saying, what is the burden of the Lord?
So the fact that a person's asking you the question lets you know they're in a negative spirit. They're asking you what's your burden.
Yeah.
Because they have their burdens too.
He needs something to complain about.
So he's asking you what your burden is so y'all can share in your complaints towards the Heavenly Father. Read on.
Thou shalt then say unto them, what burden?
That's the point. That's how you're supposed to react to people that want to sit back and be snuffleupagus around you. Hey, Bert, is your day as bad as mine? No. The Lord is great. The Most High is there. He's been there for me. I'm not feeding that negativity you're bringing to me. That happens even amongst the Jews.
Yeah.
We can talk about Jake waking and baking. Israel is waking and faking. How about that? We're not baking, but we're faking it. We're walking around faking it in hell. Yeah, I just love this. I love doing it. And you're angry as hell inside. And you're pissed and you're going through the motions. And then you go through the motions until you crack. This is all I can stand and I can't stand no more. Like, why are you blowing up like today? I thought, well, you were smiling like yesterday. No, you were faking it yesterday. You were fake smiling yesterday. And now you can't fake it anymore. Now you're snapping at people.
I asked you, were you good? You're like, yeah.
Everything's good, man. You've been studying Khan. Khan been reading. Khan. I read my scriptures. Okay, bro. Okay. So why are you going bananas 2 days later?
Why are you so mad? I'm upset about this.
Because we're waking and faking. So that what we're supposed to do is when a person is baiting you into talking negative and feeding negative, your response should be what burden? I'm not angry. I'm not pissed. Read on.
It says, thou shalt then say unto them, what burden? I will even forsake you, saith the Lord.
Also, I'm going to forsake these individuals that can't understand this concept. Why are you walking around consumed with the burdens of your life? Because everything the Most High has got you going through, He's got you going through. Wow. One of the most important things, what good is knowing the laws, statutes, commandments of God, wearing fringes, having a Hebrew name, all this spiritual stuff we know, all these breakdowns we know. We know all these breakdowns and all these revelation breakdowns, all this knowledge, and I still walk around every day saying the burden of the Lord. What good is being in this truth for 10, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years, and I'm still walking around consumed with the burden of the Lord? This is why the Most High says He is going to forsake us. Because we never just learn to just love and have an appreciation for the Heavenly Father and what He has given me. It's like we lack the capacity to see how good the Most High has been for us this entire time. But let's continue. Read on.
Verse 34. And as for the prophet and the priest and the people that shall say, the burden of the Lord.
And He says for all of these individuals with different ranks, different positions in society, the common man, the priest, the prophet, for everyone that's saying the burden of the Lord, that has that mindset, that unappreciative mindset, read on.
I will even punish that man and his house.
He's going to punish that man and his entire house. So if you wonder why your life and your household gets worse and worse and worse, it's because in your mind, you're constantly meditating on the burdens. So if you're going to meditate on burdens, as a man thinketh, so is he. He's going to send you more burdens. If you're going to complain about what your condition is, I'm going to give you something to complain about.
I'm going to get something to cry about.
It's no different than what a parent would tell a kid. If you don't appreciate what I give you, and you want to sulk and be pissy about this meal I gave you, how many of y'all had a kid and you give them some dinner and they didn't like it, and they throw a fit? What you gonna do when they throw a fit? You gonna snatch their ass up. You gonna shake them up at the very least. And if you really wrong hard, you listen. How many times kids will sit back and I don't want this food, give me this other food? Hell no. Then I guess you just chose sleep for dinner. You getting sleep. If you don't want to eat this, then get your ass to sleep. It's simple as that. Then you gonna sleep for dinner. That's what's gonna be your meal.
Hunger's gonna bite you. You don't want to be hungry.
You said what?
Hunger's gonna bite you sooner or later.
And then the kitchen's closed, B. It's closed at 10 p.m. You ain't gonna be sneaking in like this, like you Scooby Doo and getting Scooby snacks out. All around that. I don't give me cookies. I'm never going down and say we're getting cookies. You ain't getting no damn cookies. Lock that stuff up and sit back here and sleep. And then maybe the next time there's a meal in front of you, there's some green vegetables. Maybe you're gonna eat it. And if you don't, guess what you got waiting for you? I remember there was some kids that weren't my kids, and they would stay at the house for a few days, Zach. And they were like, I don't want peanut butter and jelly. I said, well, shit, then you don't gotta eat nothing then. You don't have to eat anything. Listen, either it's peanut butter and jelly, or it's peanut butter and jelly, or it's jelly and peanut butter. How do you want it? I can put the jelly first, then I can put the peanut butter. Or I can put the peanut butter first and then the jelly last. How do you want me to do it? Or there's not going to be any snacks. It's not deep. We're not dealing with calculus, Zach. It's PB&J or nothing. But then if you don't want it, you're saving me time. But don't look at me and act like you're not feeding me. This is food.
I'm hungry.
You're not that hungry. You're not that hungry. Because if you was really hungry, you'd eat it. Am I right or wrong? Okay, maybe a war. Maybe a war is just too extreme, man. But this is how the Lord operates.
Eat that PB&J.
You gonna eat it, or you know what? Then go upstairs. And then after 30 minutes, you're like, damn, man. Maybe I should have took that deal out. Maybe I should have took that deal.
Learn quick.
Then you learn. You ain't gonna get McDonald's all the time. You get burgers and fries. I want a burger and fry. I'm just gonna throw a fit.
This ain't McDonald's.
Brother, these are real issues that children deal with, and these are real issues that grown men and women deal with. Because their life isn't catered to what they're looking for. Then all of a sudden, I'm angry. I'm pissed off. The burden of the Lord. So the Most High said, if you're going to talk that burden of the Lord stuff, then prepare your house to be cursed. If we don't learn as individuals how to see the good in the Lord, and as we explain later, if we don't learn basic humility in order to value the Lord and what He has given us, He's going to take away the little that we perceive we have and make it worse. Because in order to sit back here and punish that man in his house, He's going to take away the few good things that we didn't appreciate. And you have less things to appreciate. So you're going to keep losing valuable things in your life until you realize they're valuable. That's what verse 34 is saying. Let's continue.
Verse 35, Jeremiah 23 and 35. Thus shall you say to every one to his neighbor, and to every one to his brother, what hath the Lord answered? And what hath the Lord spoken?
Now he's teaching us what we're supposed to be talking about. How has the Lord come through for you? I'm going to tell you how the Lord's come through for me. Instead of sitting back here, walking around here and saying, the burdens. Why don't you talk about how many times the Most High has come through for you in your life? Man, last week, things are going bad. He came through. Most High came through for me and blessed me. He's telling you how to think. Why don't we learn how to talk about how the Most High has been coming through for me? Versus sitting back here and complaining about what I've lost or what I don't get. You got it.
On a side note, Matthew 10 and 33. Matthew 10 and 33. Sidebar.
You mean side scripture, man?
Side scripture. Side scripture.
We kind of say it like it's anyway.
Sorry.
Doesn't even matter.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 33. It says, but whosoever shall deny me before men.
Whosoever shall deny me before men. Word deny. 8 to 28.3. Anybody got it?
Deny the 1828.
The second part.
Second point says to refuse to grant as we asked for bread, and the man denied us.
The third point, but the second part of the third point.
Okay. It says, who find not providence, all
It says to withhold. Number 3.
okay.
Second part of number 3.
Yeah,
Read from the top real quick.
God. Matthew chapter 10, verse 33. But whosoever shall deny me before men.
The word deny means what?
to withhold.
To withhold. I'm withholding my experiences from other people of the Most High coming through, of the Most High being there, of the Most High being gracious, the Most High being good, the Most High being faithful, of the Most High being righteous, of the Most High being true. I'm withholding that from people. I'm denying that from people. And I'm giving them sob stories, or I'm giving them the God's not good stories. Right?
Yeah.
So whoever shall deny me before what?
It says, But whosoever shall deny me before men,
Read on.
him will I also deny before my Father, which is in heaven.
Now, if you're still alive, how does he deny you before your Father in heaven? I curse your household.
Yep.
Because you still need daily blessings and protection for your household. If you're still alive, we're not dead yet, right? So we're not dead yet. What do we need? Most how to come through when it comes to children. So I come through with jobs. Most how to come through with your vehicle. So I come through with your children by themselves. You need protection, basic protection, right? The things that we don't really care about, we discount, that we take for granted, we need that. So it's like, listen, if you're gonna withhold and deny me before men, then I'm gonna open the door for those negative spirits to come and penetrate your house. That's the point of which we're saying.
So, read verse 35 down, continue.
Jeremiah 23 and 35. Thus shall you say to everyone his neighbor, and to everyone his brother, what hath the Lord answered, and what hath the Lord spoken? And the burden of the Lord shall you mention no more.
So he's telling you the way we're supposed to operate is to continue to talk about how the Most High has been an influence in your life, how the Most High has blessed you in your life, how the Most High has looked after you in your life. That's the conversation that should be going back and forth amongst the people, whether it's the people, the priest, or the prophets. That conversation should be the godly tone that is sustained amongst one another.
That's the culture of the Jew.
That's the culture that we're supposed to have. But the nature of man is to complain. The nature of man and women is to look at the glass half empty versus the glass half full. Okay? And it's letting you know, letting us know that glass half empty mindset is the spirit of pride.
Now,
is a form
I didn't know that.
of pride. And we're going to go into explaining how it is. Because if being humble brings about peace, then being proud brings about that spirit of being unhappy and unsatisfied. So, let's continue. Verse 36.
Come, for every man's word shall be...
Give me from the top of verse 36
Come.
again, Slack.
No problem. Verse 36. And the burden of the Lord shall you mention no more. For every man's word shall be his burden.
Your complaint and the negativity that you're holding on you is your burden. Your negative outlook is your burden. You just stop talking about your negative outlook and the filth you haven't let go in your mind. The filth you have in your mind is your burden. The Lord isn't your burden. Your negative outlook is your burden. Your negative mentality is your burden. Not the Most High. He's not the burden. Your lack of an ability to see the good in things is your burden. Let's continue.
For every man's word shall be his burden.
Mm-hmm.
For ye have perverted the words of the living power of the Lord of hosts, our power.
Read on.
Thus shalt thou say to the prophet, what hath the Lord answered thee? And what hath the Lord spoken?
He says we have to relearn and retrain ourselves how to think and how to talk and how to create a positive environment amongst each other. Even when brothers are working with each other. Do we do this? Do we do this with each other? Does this happen at the B house?
No.
Yeah, right.
No,
You're a liar.
Here and there, you gotta keep the conversation.
Con. Of course.
All day.
I'm on the spot. Con.
I'm not saying people don't attempt. Because I'm not saying it's just like thug mansion at the house. Like, there's nothing but thugalicious things going on. What I'm saying is, no, you don't want to be thugalicious. That's not cool. What I'm saying is this. This is what we have to work on all the time at the brother's house or all the time at work. When we're working amongst each other, when we're operating amongst each other, are we talking about how the Lord's been there for you? Are we talking about how the Lord's been present in our life and all the good He's brought to the table? That is the conversation that should be nurtured. And that's the conversation the Most High honors. Keep going.
Verse 38. But sith ye say, the burden of the Lord, therefore thus saith the Lord, because you say this word, the burden of the Lord, and I have sent unto you, saying, ye shall not say, the burden of the Lord. That's verse 38.
Okay, so we get that right so far. The initial reason I went there is to kind of explain to us that we operate with the mindset that we're always unhappy about something in our lives. Whether brothers and sisters are unhappy about their relationship, their marriage, the work they do, the circumstances behind their work, the hours, the times, life in general. Most of the time, our people complain about the condition. Okay, now we're going to let that verse go. Now we're going to jump to James chapter 4, verse 1 through 5. I know, it's the other one. Can you do it? 41.
Yeah. Smoke messing with me right now.
I get you. No more smoke now, man.
It's lingering. It's in my lungs now.
That frankincense poisoning, man. Let's read James 4.
James chapter 4, verse 1. From whence come wars and fightings among you?
So now, James is explaining, where are these wars coming from? Where are these battles? Where is these situations in our spirit that we're angry about, that we're contending amongst ourselves in our mind? The fighting is all mental. The fighting is all the unhappiness that I'm wrestling with in my mind. And most of us are trying to balance out the good we know that's right in front of us, and we're balancing the good that's in front of us coupled with the negativity that we choose to see. And that's what that fighting is. Okay? I'll continue.
From whence come wars and fighting amongst you? Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members?
He's like, the fighting is based upon that lust that's in your mind. That lust that's in your mind. There's a war inside that's pushing and driving you to be unhappy. Because even though you see good, even though there's positive around everywhere, there's a part of you that tells yourself that what you're going through is unfair. You deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve a better situation. You're getting the short end of the stick. These fightings are always prevalent in mankind's thinking. Okay? And it's the lust that constantly battles us and eats at us and wears at us that we have problems controlling. To be specific, I might as well go here now. We're going to go back here. Hold this and go to Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha. Chapter 41 and 11.
Why are we going here?
So we're going here because, once again, verse 1 of James 4 talks about where are these fightings that is coming amongst you. It's not like we're physically fighting ourselves. We're internally conflicted. Listen, have y'all sat back here and been in a negative mindset, but then you get counseled and you get grounded back to reality and you're clear, but like a couple hours later or a couple days later, you got the same negative thoughts rolling in your head again, and you're like, why the hell am I thinking a completely different way than I was 2 days ago? Maybe your husband might have said something, you notice it in yourself, or brothers, you might see it in yourself how your frame of thinking
Temperate.
changes based on how you feel, based on your circumstances and your conditions, and it's very difficult to control that. right?
Yeah. Huh?
And then we just say we're emotional. I'm stressed out, and we tell ourselves because we're stressed out, it's okay to be negative. It's okay to be disrespectful. I'm stressed out. I'm a snap at you.
Having a bad
I was stressed, had a bad day. Like, whoa! You didn't sit back here and curse out Mr. Charlie, your boss. You didn't curse him out. You're like, yes, Captain. Yes, sir.
So Leah,
Yes, sir. You go back home, you're cussing that person out. He getting cussed out. Mr. Charlie is getting respect. For those of y'all who know Mr. Charlie, y'all know Mr. Charlie. That's the man. Okay? We're going to get to the point. So it says, where is the fighting coming from? Even of your lust that are in your members. We're going to explain what that lust is, what this battle really is. Now we go to Ecclesiastes 41, verse 11.
Ecclesiastes chapter 41, verse 11.
Okay.
The morning of men.
So the sadness and the fighting, that infighting, that sad. The morning is sadness. That mourning, that sadness, that fighting, that part of you, that part of us, that talks about that puts us in the spirit of saying the burden of the Lord. Because when you're mourning, this is when you start talking about the burden of the Lord.
that's true.
When you're sad, now you start talking about the burdens and the unfair situation you got in your life. So the sadness, the mourning of men, read on.
Is about their bodies.
It's about their bodies, It's about what your body's not getting. It's about what you're not getting nourished in the flesh. He's saying when you're mourning, when you're saying the burden of the Lord, it's because you're not getting something in the flesh. It ain't got nothing to do with the spirit. It's all about the flesh.
My spirit can't take that.
No, when you're mourning, when you're sad, it's because of the flesh is being deprived of what the flesh thinks it deserves and needs. And as long as you convince yourself that I need these certain things in the flesh, you're going to always succumb to the fighting. If I have issues with alcoholism, as long as I tell myself I need this alcohol and I'm deprived of it,
I'm finna need it.
I'm going to be angry.
Yep.
I'm going to be mourning. I'm going to be unhappy. For those of us that work, that serve the work and serve the Most High and are in the work, whatever thing that you're not getting, as long as you tell yourself you need it, you're going to be unhappy. The longer you do this work, the more you realize what? That all you need is the Father. That all you need is these scriptures. That all you need is counsel. That all you need is brotherhood and sisterhood. You realize everything else you don't need. The more you learn to serve the Father, you learn to value Him, you realize the only thing that matters on earth is pleasing Him and reading and studying and being around people that push Him. Like we read in Jeremiah. Being around people that talk about the Lord and how the Lord's come through for them. That's what we need to be around. The problem with our people is we want to complain and not be around people that keep talking about how potent the Father is. Nobody's judging anybody for having other thoughts that attack you. The judgment is that we don't fight to stifle those thoughts. We don't learn what cleaving to the Lord really is. What cleaving to the Lord really is understanding that this is all I need. I'm telling myself, the flesh is telling me I need these other things. But I have to understand this is all I need. Work hours, time lost, not having the things I want to do, the time I want to do it, the additional income to do it. All that stuff, when you really get to the meat and potatoes of it, it don't even matter. But you got to be convinced in your own mind, based on how much you cleave to this book, that it don't matter. Can you sit back and read Ecclesiastes 41:11 and realize my mourning is about my body not getting what it wants? My sadness is based on the fact that I'm not getting what I want in the carnal. And all my thinking and my outlook is predicated on what me being satisfied in the flesh.
And mourning is grieving or wearing the appearance of sorrow.
Exactly.
Expressing,
That is expecting what?
Expressing lamentation.
That's what a person is saying. Lamentation of the burden of the Lord. Yes, sir.
I got a question. When you say that the battle is fighting that urge not to complain,
Yes.
that's the battle because
Because the complaining is out of the yearning for what you're not getting.
Yeah.
So is it about the complaining or is it about the accepting that I don't need what I'm complaining about?
Hear that point.
I don't know. What point you going to
Jude.
I don't have to.
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Okay, pull Jude.
Give me Jude, verse 15 and 16. And then someone give me swelling in the 1828, the last point. I'll let you know when to read that.
15 and 16?
15 and 16, yes.
Come, Jude, verse 15 through 16.
Yes, sir.
Come, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds.
Because this is why a class like this is so important, because a lot of people don't see venting as an ungodly deed. Venting at the grievances that the Most High has put them through as an ungodly deed or an unspiritual deed. Because what we're saying is, if I'm always meditating on the negative or what I'm not getting, and the Most High, I'm really showing unappreciation for the benefits the Most High has given me. And I'm also not accepting the will of the Most High. Because in Isaiah 30, the Lord said, I'm going to give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction. This is part of the Lord's will. So why am I pushing against or kicking against the prick, so to speak? Why am I so against the changes that are forcing my spirit to adjust? Read on.
It says, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed.
Exactly. So this is the purpose of the teachers. This is the purpose of the spiritual people that know the Bible. I'm supposed to show you where you're slipping in the mind to keep you upright in the eyes of the Most High. To keep the Most High gracious upon you. Because the second the Most High starts looking at you with favor, then your bread of adversity will start turning up a little bit. Your life's going to get even more hectic. If you thought it was bad before, now calamities are going to start taking place instead of adversity. It'll change from an adversity and turn into a calamity because you didn't accept the adversity. You didn't accept your condition. You didn't accept your particular circumstance.
And let me make sure I got this right. And if you are venting, are you venting to find out ways to change what's inside of you?
Exactly.
Or are you venting to get people to side with how you're thinking?
To be enabled.
Because a lot of times we vent, and then when brothers give you answer, they're like, "Oh, I didn't come for you. I didn't come to get an answer. I just came to sit back here and tell you how I feel."
My griefs. Yeah.
Exactly. I just came here to tell you how I felt. Then why, let me get out this phone then.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to sit back here and hear you talk vomit on my ear just for me to sit back here and just walk off. If you're going to sit back here and give me filth, I'm going to give you some clean answers. Or what are we talking about?
Because this is also, it goes into the concept of what counseling is for in the first place. When you look at what...
Josiah, you good?
When you look at counseling, the purpose of counseling is to exhort or to motivate good deeds. So if you're not here to counsel or to be motivated to change and do good deeds, then the purpose of this counsel is not going to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All you're going to do is just push off more negativity and not get any answers to the problem solved. So the job of the teachers is, I'm supposed to show you of the ungodly deeds that you're doing. Now, what are these ungodly deeds that we're talking about? Read on.
And of all their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
All through the Bible, the Most High consistently points out the value or the importance of what comes out of your mouth. How important that the mouth or what you say every day is reflecting on what's really in your mind. And honestly, the only way a man or woman can judge what's in your mind is what comes out of your mouth. Yeah. That's why Christ said, as I hear, I judge. Because for most of us, we can't mind read. So I'm always hearing negative in you. That means you're playing negative in your head all day long at a higher frequency than what's coming out of your mouth. You're not saying all the negative thoughts, but the little that you are saying is extremely off. So if you hear it, you're supposed to let them know, hey, bro, you're slipping. It doesn't have to just be loud, yelling, screaming, arguing, cussing. That's not what we're going to go into. The ungodly deeds is this. Read on.
Verse 16. These are murderers.
No.
Murderers.
That's talking about the murder. Those are extremely ungodly.
That's really unhappy.
We know.
We're not talking about murder, bro.
These are murmurers.
A murmur is a quiet complaint. Like we have quiet quitters.
Murderers are loud complainers.
Murderers are loud complainers. This guy.
I'm not happy!
They are obviously against the Lord. Most High. But the murmurers, the quiet quitters, the ones that aren't necessarily the most outspoken, but every time you tell them something, they're rolling their eyes, their countenance changes.
Yep.
They get quiet, and you can't get no spirit out of them anymore. Those are murmurers. Those are silent complainers. What you got?
Murmur definition?
Not yet.
No.
We got to get back to the point. Yeah.
Verse 16. These are murmurers, complainers.
Or open complainers. I'm just going to let you know I strongly dislike what I'm doing for the Lord every day.
Yep.
Those are the ones that are saying the burden of the Lord. What is the burden of the Lord?
I'm going to tell you the different exquisite ways I have a burden of the Lord in my life.
Exactly. And going into that point, because you said earlier how this is a reflection of someone's pride. Read on.
Walking after their own lusts.
Like James 4. Because their desires aren't matching the Most High's desires, which is why they're angry. Which is why they're not incontinent, but what happened?
Incontent.
Incontent. That's what I'm looking for. Incontent. I'm unsatisfied with my situation. But how does the pride come into play? Read on.
And their mouth speaketh great swelling words.
Give me that swelling in 1828. The last point.
In 1828. Arising or an argument by passion as the swelling of anger, grief, or pride.
So my passions, the words I say, the swelling is how what I'm saying, I'm boosting my own self-esteem while I'm complaining. I don't deserve to go through this. I work too hard to not getting what I want.
I'm a good person.
I'm a good person.
I've dedicated my life to the Heavenly Father.
These are all pride conversations. These are great. I'm boosting myself up to explain why I don't deserve to be in my situation. Or it's
why my life is a burden.
Why is it so difficult when I'm doing my best? These are great swelling. This is the pride. It's the pride that kicks in.
This is how you convince yourself that what I'm going through is unfair.
Yes.
And when you start telling yourself that what you're going through is unfair, then you go into self-destruct mode.
Yep.
Then why serve the Most High? Then why follow the law? Why do any of this?
Yeah.
Let me start thinking about my other options.
Read on.
Having men's persons in admiration because of it.
And now that pride shifts into envy. Now, just like Israel always did, I'm comparing my life to those that had more freedoms.
Yep.
To those that had more comforts. And have to work this hard to get what they got.
Then I'll sit back here with this sister don't understand me because their life is easier.
Yep.
This sister don't understand me because they don't have the condition that I'm going through. This brother don't understand me because he didn't suffer in the hood like I suffered.
Yep.
Yeah, how many times I've heard that before? Because I didn't go through X, Y, Z in the streets, and then you don't understand my
You
story.
didn't get shot.
So because I didn't get shot, then you can't listen to what pride is and learn how to follow because I didn't get shot like you got shot. That's how people think. Because I didn't go through what you went through. You can't tell me nothing about this situation.
Yeah.
Okay. You keep going and suffering and see how it turns out for you.
Okay. I gotta actually live the suffering. I gotta live your suffering. You better acknowledge, hey, bro, that was a bad decision you're making right there. That's not wisdom.
Bro.
But it's saying, after we get past once the stage from pride to boost myself up, saying I don't deserve this, it automatically goes to envy. I really don't deserve this.
And I'm going to go into that when we get back to James.
Cool. All right, that's all for that.
Let's continue. Let's go back to James 4:2 now. Because it goes right into that.
James chapter 4 verse 2. Ye lust and have not.
And you desire. You feel that your flesh isn't getting what it deserves. You're not getting the love you think you deserve. You're not getting the attention you think you deserve. You're not getting the appreciation you think you deserve. You're not getting the consideration, all the Asians that you think you deserve.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, I'm fighting, I'm lusting. I want to fight to get that.
Yep.
I'm going to fight for that attention. I'm going to fight for the things I want.
Because I'm building.
I'm going to argue.
It's a bit of anger.
God.
I'm placing these different complaints in a row. And after a while, I got enough complaints to justify me being angry.
God. And being out of pocket. But continue.
Ye lust and have not. Ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain.
And I think each and every one of us in their own way has experienced this. You think you deserve something. You think you've waited long enough for something. You think you've endured and lost long enough. It's time for you to get something that you think you want. And the Most High continues to not give it to you. He continues to not give it to you. He doesn't open this door. He doesn't open that door. He doesn't give you the things you expect you deserve. Whether it's a rib, whether it's a husband, whether it's the type of husband you want, whether it's the type of woman you want, whether it's the type of condition in your life you want. You want something a certain way, and the Most High don't give it to you. He don't give you the things you expect that you want in your life when you want it. Read on.
Ye fight in war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not.
You're not asking for the right things. Why am I asking for anything if I don't have an appreciation for where I'm at first? We're going to go into that also. But let's continue.
Ye ask.
And this class is going to still go into the humble aspect. We're just kind of building up the point. Read on.
Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust.
Because you just want something. Think about this. Where was that in Ecclesiastes 41:11? It said the mourning of men is about their bodies. Right? So that means I am praying to the Most High so that He can eliminate this void in the flesh that's making me feel unhappy. This is how the Lord is like saying you're asking amiss. You're looking for a carnal feeling to solve a spiritual issue. We're not asking for knowledge, wisdom, understanding, patience, mercy, temperance, clarity, understanding. I am mourning because I'm in the flesh. And today I feel alone. And because I feel alone, I want something because I feel alone. I want a blessing because I feel sad. I want a blessing because I feel nobody cares. And the Most High is like, that's not what you should be asking for. And those are not prayers you should be asking for. The Most High is like, why do you feel alone when you have me? Why isn't the Lord enough? This is where it gets kind of crunchy. How come the Most High isn't enough? Why am I mourning because of something I'm not getting in my body? This is what the Most High is looking at when He sees us praying and lusting and asking and fighting and killing and warring to obtain. What are we warring to obtain? Something to comfort my body. And my sadness is based upon what I'm lacking in the flesh. And we're asking and fighting and maneuvering and posturing to get something in the flesh the Most High is not trying to give you. He's trying to give you something in the spirit that can sustain itself for a longer period of time. It goes back to the root of why people say the burden of the Lord. People say the burden of the Lord because when you serve the Lord, sometimes, a lot of times, you're not going to get that comfort in the flesh that you're seeking. This is where the sadness and the unhappiness is being fueled at. And the reason and the motivation behind all the extra work and all the fighting and posturing we're trying to tap into. The fighting and the posturing we're tapping into is because we're sad. And we want something in the flesh to nourish our peace of mind. Versus the Lord is trying to get you to cleave to His word, to cleave to brotherhood, to cleave to sisterhood, to cleave to the body to fill that void. Then you'll get what you want if you're asking for the right thing, but we're asking amiss. Does this make sense? Read on.
God, ye adulterers and adulteresses.
And we are adulterers and adulteresses to the Heavenly Father. Because all we're doing when we pursue the flesh, when we pursue our bodies, and we're mourning because we don't get in the body, we are committing spiritual adultery with the Heavenly Father. We are telling the Heavenly Father that He's not good enough. He's not good enough to make me whole. This flesh makes me whole. This is why young men don't get women early in the truth. This is why women don't get men early in the truth sometimes. Because they're looking for the flesh to make them whole versus the Lord and the Word to make you whole. And we all have to sit back here and learn that the Word and these scriptures make you whole. There's nothing else you need. Everything else is cake. Everything else is icing on the cake. Can we learn to accept that? Because whatever you feel that you're lacking, the Lord is enough. And pursuing Him is enough. You ever notice when people are mourning because of what they're not getting in their body, what's the first thing they do? They give the Most High less. They come around less.
Yep.
They participate in camp activities less.
Read less.
They give to brothers less. They read less. They hang around sisters less. They give less because they're mourning in their body. And in their head, if I'm not going to get what I want in the flesh,
I'm not giving God nothing.
why am I going to give the Most High more? I'm going to flow on autopilot.
And it becomes this standoff with the Father.
Yeah. Why give more when I'm mourning and I'm sad?
Well,
the scripture says you're mourning and you're sad because you're not getting what you want in your body. And now you're going to sit back here and stop work or walk around unhappy, walk around with the mindset of the burden of the Lord. Now it's the burden of the Lord because you don't get what you want in the flesh.
I'm going to hold my services hostage.
And every attempt you've tried to get what you want in the flesh to appease the body has come up snake eyes. That's because He doesn't want you to dedicate and give your mind to that right now. Why doesn't He want you to have it? Because the first thing a person will say is, man, I'm not asking for all this wickedness. I just want this one little blessing. And the Lord's like, it's not about the blessing. It's about what brings you happiness inside.
That's the real point.
Why doesn't the Lord bring you happiness? You know why the Lord doesn't bring you happiness? Because the flesh is what makes you. If you get what you want in the flesh, everybody's smiling.
It's a victory.
We used to always say, brothers that work the mall, if they got what they wanted in the flesh on Saturday, there was $300 on Sunday.
Guaranteed.
Brothers made 300, 350. It was guaranteed. I don't care how much sleep was lost. I don't care how long of a night. If they got what they wanted, the zone was blessed. If you didn't get what you wanted, you might get $90, $100.
Don't call that day out. He's
He's
gonna be.
gonna be. Oh, I'm in my head. I'm in my head.
Yeah.
I'm in my head. I don't know. I'm struggling in my head. This is the flesh shot. It's the people that aren't feeling me. The people were feeling you when you got what you wanted in the flesh. This is the truth. I am not lying one word. So the reason the Most High doesn't give you what you want, because He's trying to train you to find happiness in pursuing Him and learning how to be at peace with wherever the Most High got you in. That is the spirit of humility. Can I be okay with what the Most High has got me going through and find value in those lessons versus mourning over my body not getting what it wants? That is the fight. That is the battle. So, read verse 4.
Come. James 4:4.
Listen up, Dave.
Ye adulterers and adulteresses.
Because I'm cheating on the Most High. With who? My desires. Read on.
Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High?
He's telling you, if I'm at the point where I'm mourning about what I'm not getting out of my body, that is me saying I have a friendship with the world.
Because I'm about to find my friendship is affinity.
Yes.
I'm a liking towards. So
Yep.
everything you got that you really want is right outside that door.
Exactly. That's always the test. If what makes you happy or worldly things or these things out here, it's going to be like this. It's going to be always this alluring test Well, how far are you going to go out there to go see if if you can get it? How hard are you going to work? How many things are you going to give this up to pursue that? And if you do, are you really going to get what you're looking for?
The compromise game, man.
I have to give something up to get the other thing. Or appreciate and accept where the Most High's got me at.
Yeah.
And then the Most High will give me what I need down the line. This is about, I can't walk around here being sad and depressed as a young man because I'm burning. Sad and depressed because I don't have what I expected to have at this age in my life, or in this time in my life I was expected to be a certain way and I'm not there. You can't operate in that space because that is the space, Elisha bringing up early, deals with the spirit of pride and envy. It's going to go into that. Read on.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High.
You're going to be a friend of the world, meaning that affinity, that desire. Your happiness is when you get worldly things. You're going to be an enemy with the Most High. Either you're going to love the Most High and not value what's out there, or you're going to value what's out there and be an enemy of the Heavenly Father. You got to make a choice. And the Lord is the Most High is all about forcing us to make a choice. And half of the reason that there's unhappiness amongst men and women in life is because we operate with a duality that the Most High is not happy with. We want it both ways. Yeah. And because we want it both ways, He's not going to give it to you both ways. You got to choose the good and the bad, the pros and the cons that come from serving the Heavenly Father, or choose the pros and the cons that come from operating in the world. Either way, you can't be lukewarm. So, read on. Was that?
Oh, I got a verse.
No, I got to at least establish the beginning because I got it. We're like in verse 3, bro. It's almost 9 o'clock. It's crazy. Let's keep going, bro. This is crazy. I got to do something, or we're gonna be doing part 4 inside. Let's read that.
James 4 verse 5.
We're gonna be humility part 8. Like, damn, bro, we're gonna be riding. It's gonna be the fall of humility. Like the summer of Paul, that was the fall of being humble. Like, damn,
humility.
We're gonna go through the spring. Well, let's continue.
It's perfect for Passover.
Do you think that the Scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy?
This is what this is all about. I'm unhappy. I'm sad because my body's not getting what it needs. Listen, read Ecclesiastes 41:11 again. That's a monster verse. Ecclesiastes 41:11. Damn, bro. Read it. Come on.
Ecclesiastes 41:11. The mourning of men is about their body.
The mourning of men is about their body.
Because you're about your body.
You're mourning because your body isn't getting what it wants. Now I'm sad. Now listen. So whenever you're sad and you're walking around here and you feel sad and blue, when you're feeling sad and blue, it's because, man, I'm not getting what I want in the flesh in some way, some form of fashion. I'm not getting what I want in the flesh.
I gotta pull this.
What verse is it, man?
It's Ecclesiastes. More wisdom bars.
Come on, Ecclesiastes what? Yes.
Ecclesiastes 30 and verse 20. Same vein.
Yeah. Go there. You want to read the whole thing or just that verse?
Just 3 verses.
See, I knew it. Damn it.
Just 2 verses. I can shorten it in 2 verses.
Shorten with 2 verses, Zach. But listen, read that verse again.
God, Ecclesiastes 41:11. The mourning of men is about their body.
Brothers need to sit back here and put that on their like on their doorpost. When you wake up, you gotta look at your door and say the mourning of men is in your body, Zach. Your flesh is why not getting what you want in the flesh is why you're sad.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of good around you. There's plenty of spirit and love and beauty and charity. But you're unhappy because you ain't got what you want in the flesh, B. And that body aching, and that body yearning is changing your whole way of looking at things, And it's creating that spirit of envy. Because the more you play with that body and what it ain't getting, then you start looking at what the other person is. What's Bill over there in the corner doing? What's Bill over there? It's green. His grass is green as hell out. He got a white picket fence. He's smiling. Why is he happy at? Because he's got what I don't got. His body ain't aching like mine is. That's what it is. Then you start looking at everybody and thinking that their life is way more exquisite and fun than yours. Then you start looking at the people around you in the work. Then you look at the people in the world and say, "Oh, they having all the fun. They're smiling. They have no care in the world. I want that.
Jay's having a ball.
Do I got to sit back? What do I got to do to get that?" And that's where that meditation kicks in at. But keep going. Go over your verse. I'm telling you, Ecclesiastes 41:11 got to be a young brother's anthem.
God, we read that in Ecclesiastes 30 and verse
I think a
40.
hip hop oracle.
You put an 808 on that and have Future's voice on it, but like, that makes sense.
Makes sense. That's hidden. That's deep.
Oh my goodness.
30 and 20.
30 and verse 20.
Yeah, Future gotta say
So,
it. It'll be okay. If Future said it, it'll be okay.
Remember, buddy. But like, that makes sense.
But let's read that. What you got? Ecclesiastes what?
Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 20.
So the mourning of men is over their bodies, right? What else are they doing? Read on.
He seeth with his eyes and groaneth.
Thank you. You see with your eyes and you groan.
Woo!
I see what I'm not getting out the deal and I'm angry at. What you see in your eyes is what's getting you angry at about what you're not getting at.
Can't believe I'm seeing
It was not fair at.
God.
Listen, and the funny thing is this. It's we as men we understand what it is, but even with sisters. They'll sit back here in the middle of arguments. I wish I had time with my husband, like the other brother and their sister and they rib do out. You hear that shit all the time. They get to do this as a couple. I don't think go marry that nigga then. She's my French. That's the thought that pops in my head.
Hey,
That's what I was saying. I'm not trying to curse online, Slovakia, but that kind of comes out.
No more
sometimes.
cursing here.
No more. I'm gonna try to cut down the cursing. I will try my butt off.
I'm done.
But sometimes that's the first thought that pops in your head. Because even when sisters, when their jealousy kicks into them and their envy kicks in, they're looking at how another man's house runs, and they're envious that they get to do things.
But you don't want the constant house either.
But listen, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons to everything, but nobody wants to sit back and think about the cons. They're just looking at another person's situation. They want to compare it to what they're not getting. Then their unhappiness flames up even more. Yeah. And I'm just bringing it out to show that happens with women in the truth also. They'll sit back here and look at how another husband runs their house, and then their envy is on fire about they want that same thing that the other sister and brother get. Well, you know what? There's other things that they don't get that they want from you, that they see in your situation and want also. The negativity goes both ways. Well, read that part again in Ecclesiastes. I will work on my language. Sometimes, forgive me the passion of my words. The passion of my speech. But keep going. Read that.
Ecclesiastes 30 and 20. He seeth with his eyes and groaneth.
There's a lot of dissatisfaction going on right now. But why? Well, why is he growing? Why is he's looking and he's yearning for what he can't have?
What is it that he can't have? Read on.
As a eunuch that embraces the virgin and sighs.
I see a virgin, but I'm a eunuch.
Can't do nothing.
Guess what? That's the ultimate mind screw out.
That's tough.
I'm not getting not the deal. I'm angry.
Yeah.
And so really it's look but don't touch.
Yep.
Look but don't get gratification. Yep. That's that spirit of envy that eats at all of us, whether it's men or women. The sign comes from the reality that I want that, but in the present life that I've chosen, I can't get it.
Can't get it.
So now I'm angry. Yep. Now I'm frustrated. Now there's wars inside of me.
Yep.
Because it's a look but don't touch thing. Look but you're never ever going to get it thing. Yep. Then you start getting played in your mind. Either you're going to sit back here and go pursue it and give up what you got, or you have to take a spiritual mindset to it and say, you know what, man, is serving God enough? And can I learn just to pursue Him and find happiness in His pursuit?
This is what makes serving the Most High for a lot of people difficult. Because I'm trying to find this correct balance of getting what I want.
There's no balance.
The Most High what He wants.
That balance is like a 4-letter word. Balance is a lie. You're not going to get balance like this.
No.
You're not going to get the balance of me getting what I want versus me learning what I got to learn in the Spirit. You're not getting that.
No.
You got to learn to accept that the Lord is enough. And whatever He brings your way eventually, if He feels like giving to you, is enough for you. Okay. And can you accept it? Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, because this is why men will complain and say, well, I didn't have depression before I came into truth. Or, I used to read the Bible a lot before I came into truth. But all of a sudden, when I joined the camp, I just stopped reading. I just couldn't read no more because I couldn't accept.
Because you know what you're reading. That's why.
Well, it's that, and it's what we just read in Ecclesiastes. The mourning of men is about their bodies. I'm depressed because now I'm serving God, and I can't nurture the flesh now.
Yep.
I can't get release in the flesh. Now I'm dealing with depression.
Yep.
In the world, you can tap into any vice you want to cool off.
Yep. Men
chose marijuana. Men chose womanizing. Men chose harder drugs. Men chose alcohol. Women too. And that was, so then when you sit back and read all these vices, it's easier to sit back and be relaxed and calm and under control. Because you got a vice to tap into. But in this realm, there's no vices. So I got to cleave to the word.
Huh.
And for those of us who haven't learned to cleave to the word, I'm going to deal with more enhanced and intensified sadness. Until I learn that my peace comes from studying, learning, reading, being around the body of Christ that is constantly talking about how the Lord is good. Not talking to those people who sit back here and talk about the burden of the Lord. What you going to say? You got more on that?
Yeah, that verse 20. 21, I mean.
Read 21.
Come on, Ecclesiastes 30 and 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness.
This goes back to the point of the class. The humility or the fact that I can accept my circumstance, because ultimately it goes back to being a servant. If we all took that mindset that I'm a servant, and the servant's job is to love what the master loves, and nothing else matters, then understanding what level of humility is needed is a lot easier to process. We look at these old, I used to watch a lot of old, I don't know what category they'd be under, Kingdom movies or like Kingdom Ship, Duke Ship, and all that.
Okay.
When you're seeing actual old-timey servitude back in the 1200s, 1300s. The servant didn't have an opportunity.
They were called
to
serfs.
Serfs. The serfs didn't have an opportunity to complain to the king about their issues. They didn't have an opportunity to tell the king, I want an off day, or I'm tired of working so hard. Your job was to sit here and be locked in and be in order. If not, you was getting your head chopped off. That's just what it was. Yep. So that was how it was back in your day, but the Most High is no different. Your job is to lock in, accept your life. You are a living sacrifice. And if I can accept that this is what I get, and whatever the Most High gives me is just extra, it's just excess, it's just grace, then I can be okay. That's where the peace of mind comes in. But when I'm looking what I can't have, and I'm yearning for what is not meant to be mine, now I'm playing with these negative thoughts, and it makes my day more difficult to operate.
And that's what the second part of verse 21 says. Read the second part of verse 21.
Come, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel.
You know how you afflict yourself in your own counsel? When you keep stressing about what you don't have? When you keep stressing about what's not fair? What's not just? How you're getting the you-know-what in the stick? How you're getting screwed over? How you're not getting what you think you deserve? Mm-hmm. That's how a person gets afflicted in their own counsel. Because in your own counsel, you deserve certain carnal rewards in the flesh.
And you're making yourself, you already have a bad situation, but your speech and your perspective and the intensifying of your emotions is making the bad situation already worse as a marriage.
And that's what Jeremiah said. That's what Jeremiah 23 said. He says, I'm going to let, when you say the burden of the Lord, your burden are your words. The burden is your thinking. And that burden is going to keep intensifying until you either kill that burden, those thoughts, or you just give yourself over to it. And you just go and pursue what you got to do by any means necessary. That is the battle of the flesh. Okay?
That's true.
So, let all that go and go back to James 4 and 5.
James chapter 4, verse 5. Do ye think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy?
He says, it's not in vain. That message is not in vain. The spirit we operate in is envy. Now, we're going to sit and give a little more clarity. I don't want to be on envy all night, but let's go real quick to Ecclesiastes 30, verse 24, and talk about that envy and see what the Most High does to us when we operate in that spirit of envy. We operate focused on looking at what we don't get in our life and what's unfair in our life. Give me that in Ecclesiastes 30 and 24.
Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 24 reads, envy and wrath shorten the life.
Envy and wrath shorten the life.
Now, what is it talking about? Because we read this all the time. Like, man, we talk short.
I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say for sure it ends your spiritual life. I tell you that for damn sure. You can't sit back here and operate in the spirit of envy and expect to grow spiritually. When that envy rises on you hard, you're operating with that dispensation of the gospel.
Yeah.
You're on your way out.
That's a fact.
You're going to die spiritual. You're going to die spiritually because you can't sit back here, and we're going to read, and serve two masters. You can't operate kind of liking the Most High, but kind of liking and loving what I want to do also.
Yeah.
Because it goes into, if I'm sad about my body not getting what it wants in the flesh, then what are you going to do about it?
It's kind of
That's $1 million question. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to go pursue whatever you got to pursue so you don't got to feel sad no more? Or are you going to learn to accept that just wasn't meant to be in the cards for you? That's what each and every one of us got to ask ourselves. If serving the Lord is the occupation that we really want to choose. What we're obviously seeing is to cross that threshold spiritually. It has nothing to do with just loss. It's really about how humble you're going to sit back here and really live your life in these scriptures. How humble are you? And what are you really going to sit back and accept that what's not meant to be? There's a lot of things, all of us, as you're growing in the truth, that realize that wasn't meant to be. This type of situation isn't for me. This type of woman, for sisters, this type of man, isn't meant for me in this realm. Can I accept the deal that the Most High gave me in this process? That is very difficult for a lot of us to swallow. But it's the truth. What's about?
I was going to say, I get that, because it's what we'll do, or we'll waste time pursuing the thing that we're not supposed to have. Because the crazy thing is this, just to be honest here, we will get the counsel that says, don't do this. Don't do this, you're going to waste your time. Don't do this. There's all these warnings. And then we don't heed the warning.
Yep.
And then you look up and boom, there's 7 years, bro. Like,
yes.
that.
Yep.
Like, people don't think, like, it goes like, boom.
And in the process of you pursuing your happiness in the flesh, you're losing valuable time to grow spiritually. Because in that pursuit, you're not studying.
No.
You're not sitting back here and growing spiritually. You're not looking and learning how to overcome the flesh in you. You're just wasting time. Yes.
But then the thing is, the crazy thing is this, you actually realize it as like months or years are going by, but you're still, for some reason, you still pursue it, and you're getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and it's like what making you the counsel, like, hey, you're supposed to do this. It's just like, because I was so negative, or a person's so negative and so negligent, I'm just going to get even more and more and more and more angry. And I look up, and after that 7 years, that's when I blame the truth. And that's when I blame the minute. That's when I blame the counsel. But really, I was doing something that the Most High and elders didn't want me to do in the first place. That's the crazy part.
And what people think, they think this is a camp thing, and this is a Israelite thing. This is a life thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to prove
It really is,
with some REM lyrics real quick.
You said REM?
Listen,
like the losing my religion guy?
That's what brother said.
Losing my religion.
That's right. Brother, the truth is losing
no
religion.
Way, Act.
I'm serious.
That's the actual song you're going to quote?
He said it, word for word.
I was wondering what you were sitting right here.
That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Losing my religion. Trying to keep up with you. It's the envy man.
And I don't know.
He says, I don't know if I can do it. Because you don't know. He ain't studying anyway. You're not going to really get your spirit right. You don't know if you can do it because you haven't built faith. So you're dealing with envy. Man. You haven't built faith.
REM.
And listen, it says, oh, no, I've said too much. I haven't said enough. Because you got more complaints than you, huh? Yeah. That's a cocktail of more filth and vomiting of negatives.
I've never, ever in the history of classes ever seen brothers use REM in a council format for the Spirit Act.
It's
never.
The truth, you know what? Because I'm just showing that people every day are dealing with this demon. It's not just you because you're in the camp. But I'm going to blame it on, because you're serving Yahweh Shai and Yahshua.
And my youth was taken away.
Because I was in the truth. This happened to Arian too. He wasn't in the truth.
They're Edomites.
It's an Edomite. His life still sucks. oh, it's the brothers.
Listen,
He doesn't have the brothers.
Satan had the worst life ever. I agree to my side. I don't know who those guys are. Their life sucked. But keep going. I'm sorry.
Listen, but the point is, he can't keep up with people around him. He's losing. He's not competing well because Israel. I can't keep up with you. I can't keep up with you. I can't do what you do. I can't do what you do. But they have a whole bunch of complaints in their spirit. Listen, this is.
You need to slow that part. Listen, let's go with the scriptures.
I'm gonna say it slow. I don't want to make a big point out.
Yeah.
The point is that people, truth or no truth, Israelite or heathen, got complaints, and they're trying to compete with other people, and they can't see the good that God's given them. Because the scripture does say He's the God of all flesh, meaning what? He gives He blesses the wicked and the righteous.
Yep.
He gives everybody. Everybody gets some air to breathe. Everybody gets some sunshine. Everybody gets a little day to enjoy themselves, huh? But if you're an Israelite, you deserve the world in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Esau got to sit here and work 20 years to build their household up, their families up. We want it in 3 months.
No, like 2 weeks.
Because we're Jews.
And the rib Bill has got to have a certain look.
Immediately.
I'm not happy if I don't get that certain look.
Or
that certain tribe.
Yeah, Mark don't get that, huh?
Israel be looking for tribes. I'm not happy in my life unless I get a certain tribe.
Yeah. This tribe is.
You think I'm lying? Men are gung ho on that, and sometimes women are too.
Oh yeah, color struck.
Yep.
And so,
and if I don't get this tribe, you know what's crazy? The most I can send you the rib that was good for you, walk right past you. Wasn't my tribe. Wasn't meant to be. Wasn't my tribe.
God,
that's not. You know what? I'm looking for. That's not the one. How do you know? That ain't the one. It's the rib right past you, right?
That wasn't the kingdom I was looking for.
I wasn't the tribe. I wasn't the tribe I'm looking for. Listen, whatever tribe you want to ask for. This because you asked for it, don't mean that's what the Most High got for you. How about them apples?
And now you're losing your religion.
Listen, I couldn't watch that. I couldn't watch the video. They didn't move, but it was like this the whole time.
He was very sad.
I was like, what's going on here, At?
That's the saddest video I ever saw.
I remember. I couldn't watch it. It was like, like, dude, can you move a little bit, At?
It's a little slower.
I know. It's like this. It's like cranberries. Like y'all don't move. Y'all do nothing. Can y'all move in the video and move your body a little bit, At?
They were in traffic.
Horrible.
Video out, and they were blowing up in their head out.
So keep going down, yeah. Keep going
I'm
down.
just saying, Israel thinks it's just their camp, just their school, just their life.
Or this is an Israelite thing.
This is a life. That's why I wore in the class. This is a lifetime. Envy hits everybody, not just the Jews.
Yep.
We just have the oracles, the scriptures, the soft envy.
Huh. So here we at, man. He says, the spirit that dwells in us, lust to envy. Then we have Ecclesiastes 30 and 24. Envy and wrath shortens the life out. It shortens your spiritual life out.
Yeah.
Because you're going to sit back here and go lose decades on false, vain pursuits. I'm going to explain why. Read the second part of that verse in 24.
And carefulness bringeth age before time.
When I'm overly careful about my money, overly careful about what I do, you end up wasting time and not enjoying the life right in front of you. Envy, a man can be so envious of what they're not getting, they never enjoy the good that's right in front of them. And that's just so, are you really living? Are you really living your life to its fullest if you can't appreciate what the Lord has given you that's right in front of you? What it's showing you is the person that's overly careful is too consumed with the future.
I want to lose, yeah.
And the person who's into his envy and wrath is so focused on what he doesn't have.
Okay,
Neither of these individuals, was that?
No, I went further. That's good. Yeah.
Neither of these individuals are focused on what's in front of them and focus on being appreciative for the good the Lord has given them now.
Period.
That's how you lose your life. Listen, how many of y'all brothers are sitting back here lost like 6 months to a year being unhappy? Or longer? I'm going to say 6 months to a year to start.
That's nice. That's a nice thing. That's nice
to be real, brothers being happy for like 6 years, bro. 7 years. Like, dude, you lost 7 years of your life being angry. And that you're never getting back. That's what it means by shortening your life. Right? You lose your life. You lose your life because I'm consumed with anger about what I'm not getting. You look up, man. You used to have dark hair before you start envying. Now you got gray hair out. That's horrible. But that's a real thing. I'm telling you.
It's like that Life movie now. I don't explain movies. But you know the
Life was sad out.
That was
Life
tough,
was sad
right?
out. Listen, Eddie and Martin was there in their 20s out. And those sad songs was kicking in. They just got older out. You saw the grays out. And all the homeless are dying off out. Listen, you realize you just wasted your life in a damn Mississippi country cell block out. But whether you in jail or you're in the jail of your mind, you're still wasting your life. I've seen brothers and sisters wasting life in these doors. Angry about having to always counsel, having to always do this for the brothers, always do this for the sisters, always be complaining about work. Why don't you just be appreciative that you have like-minded people that you're working with every day, and you have an opportunity to serve the Lord out? That's not good enough. We're walking around here angry and upset, drooping faces because of what you don't think you deserve, or you're going through things you don't think you deserve. That's how the envy shortens your life. Because I'm just not happy and content with the Lord. And so I'm wasting time. I'm wasting time being angry and not settled inside.
Now you are.
And I can be as angry as I want. My situation isn't changing. Didn't the scripture in Matthew say, which one of you guys can change your stature? Your stature by one cubit? So if you can't change your stature by 1 cubit, why am I angry about my condition? You can't do anything about your condition anyway. And if I can't do anything about my condition, that means it's the Lord's will.
Wow.
And if it's the Lord's will, why can't I just accept it's the Lord's will? Why can't I just be at peace with that notion? That the Lord got me here.
I'm in a red light until I learn to love where I'm at right now. And you're going to be at the red light. You're like, it's going to be green any minute now. It's not going to turn green, bro. Until you get your mind right.
These are realities of life. Yes, sir?
The definition of life is literally what you're talking about.
Okay.
Life, point 6. Condition, course of living in regard to happiness and misery.
Mm-hmm. So this is about accepting that. But the Lord said in James 4 and 5, hey, the Spirit in us always wants more. The lust in us, he says, the lust in us. We lust to envy. What's in us is we always want more and we think we deserve more. That is the lust in us. That's what brings the sadness and the mourning.
And when you get more, you were supposed to have it in the first place. You were supposed to have it. I'm not going to praise the Most High. You're supposed to have it. Wow, bro, you're really out there.
Listen, you're saying people are laughing because it's the truth. That's how people think.
Yeah, out there.
Anyway, that's the consequence of talking about what kings and queens are. That's that pride talk out. We're above losing and suffering and serving out. But let's let that go. We went to Ecclesiasticus. Go to 1 Kings 18 and 21. And then another one, go to Matthew 6 and 24.
18, 21.
1 Kings chapter 18, verse 21.
This is Elijah talking to Elijah talking to the people. To the mass of the people. Read on.
Matthew 6 and 1.
1 Kings chapter 18, verse 21. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long halt ye between two opinions?
How long are we going to operate with two opinions? Two directions, two desires, two sets of passions, two sets of opinions. This is what kills Israelites. It's not the knowledge. It's not the fringes. That even with all the knowledge we know, we still have two opinions. We have that part of us that lusts to envy. To be specific, that part of us that mourns because of our bodies. And there's the other part of us that is trying to learn the Most High and value Him. And the two opinions clashing is those two parts of us that are fighting and warring for control of our spirit. How long are we going to be of two opinions? Read on.
If the Lord be the Most High, follow Him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him, not a word.
Because they didn't make a decision. Israel is the king and queens of operating in duality. We want the Lord and we want comfort. We want the Lord But we don't want to accept that in serving the Lord, you're not going to get what you want in the flesh. But then people want to pursue the flesh and then get the Lord. You're not going to get the Lord and have the flesh. You can't have it both ways. And too many times, that's what we fight for. Let that verse go and go to Matthew 6:24.
Matthew chapter 6, verse 24.
Let me get it real quick. Read that.
God, Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other.
You can't have those two opinions because those two opinions are deadly for you. Read on.
You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon.
You can't serve the Most High and Mammon. Now, we've been told and we read that Mammon is money, and I get that, but there's another definition for Mammon. There is a Chaldean term for Mammon, and the Chaldean term for Mammon is, oh, that's the wrong word. It's desire. I had it in my notes. I thought I had it on my phone. But the Chaldean term for Mammon is what is trusted in, what you trust in. So you can't serve the Most High, trust in the Most High, and then trust in yourself at the same time. It can't be both. You're going to sit back here and accept all of what the Most High brings to the table and let go of what you trust in, or you're going to trust in yourself and not trust in the Heavenly Father. That's what Mammon is in the Chaldean term. It's the same concept. Money, your pursuits, what you're confident. Either you're going to be confident in what you're confident in, or you're going to be confident in following Christ. Brother, help us out. Those are the choices. There's no getting around the other way.
Mammon, the Chaldean origin is confidence.
Yeah.
It's treasure.
It's what you treasure, it's what you value, it's what you think is important. The confidence in yourself.
What you love.
What you love. Because when it talks about what you're confident in, is what you think you should have. It's what you believe that you should tap into. And that's not what the Heavenly Father is pushing us to feed off of. The only thing that matters is pleasing Him. Read verse 24 again.
God, Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon.
The Most High forces us to a choice. Can I learn to appreciate the Most High and all the ups and downs that comes with it? Or am I going to sit back and serve my will and what I want and lose in the gain in the flesh, lose in the spirit? It's one or the other. And every obstacle the Most High has us going through in our life and the truth is forcing us to make that decision. And the quicker we can accept and make that choice and choose one opinion or another, the quicker we can grow.
So you say, I got to choose a side.
The Most High is forcing us all to choose a side and to embrace that side. And when you embrace that side, that's the only thing that brings about peace. Shai, I need you to stand up. Okay, let that verse go and go to James 4 and 6 now. 6 through 10. James 4, 6 through 10.
Come. James chapter 4, verse 6. But he giveth more grace, wherefore he saveth. The Most High resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble.
So he's telling you this. The Most High resists the proud. The proud person is the person that's fighting for what? Their happiness. And it's going to feed that contentious spirit. But he says he gives grace to the what?
He gives grace unto the humble.
And the humble person is about accepting the Lord's way. So read verse 6 again. I'm sorry.
Come. James 4, verse 6. But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, the Most High resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble.
The humble person is content with his condition. The humble person accepts what the Most High puts them through.
The humble person is not going to direct their anger towards the Father or vent venom and disgust
about their
and
condition.
displeasure. Because I know that the Most High is enough for me.
Yep.
And I want to train my mind to value the Most High, and what I'm getting from the Scriptures and the Spirit is enough to satisfy my spirit.
The humble person makes a decision that there is no such thing as a burden of the Lord. That's what a humble person is. There's no burden. I'm content.
Yeah.
The proud person feels there's a burden. The proud is contending in his mind about his condition. The humble accepts his condition. Those are the differences.
I gotta pull one scripture.
Be quick. What you got?
Psalms.
You need it? You need some time? I can pull, for instance, this verse?
I got it right here. Psalms 131 and verse 2.
Do the math here. Or the first case.
This is so that this is so that it's possible.
Are you good?
Because people say that
We ain't getting to this class now anyway, bro.
is not possible.
You said what?
Psalms 131 and verse 2. Psalms 131 and verse 2.
No, that's
Psalms chapter 131 and verse 2. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself.
They say he quieted himself. When I can't quiet myself, that means I got that natural, insatiable, argumentative defect in me of wanting to vomit my displeasure upon other Israelites in general because I'm mad at God.
Now hold that and go to 1 Thessalonians 4 and 11. How did David quiet himself? That's perfect. We're going to go back to Psalms. Yeah. But how did David quiet himself? 1 Thessalonians 4 and 11. Uh-huh.
1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 11. And that he studied to be quiet.
You study to be quiet.
No.
You study to quiet yourself. You study to fight those demons. You study to sit back and learn to be content in your situation. That's the only way you can quiet yourself. How much do you study? You can tell when that person is sitting back here in mourning because of his body. That dude ain't reading the Bible a lot. When you see a guy in a perpetual state of sadness, you know he's not studying enough. Sadness or anger, he's not studying.
And you don't believe what he reads.
Or he's just doing this like it's standards.
I read
in the
today.
beginning.
Yeah. You don't believe it. David said, what did he say again in Psalms 131 and 2?
Surely.
Psalms 131 verse 2. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself.
David quieted himself and behaved because he studied. Because he was always in his precepts. Didn't David say because of that I know more than my elders because of the precepts? Yeah, ancients. Because he was constantly in the book. That stabilized him. That quiets that spirit, that lust to envy. Because that's what's being quieted. Didn't David say in Psalm 73 that I almost slipped?
Yeah.
Because I was envious at how Saul was smiling and getting away with murder. Then I remembered the sanctuary of the Most High and said he was on unstable footing and wasn't going to last too long. We all fight envy and jealousy and covetousness. But what neutralizes that spirit is how much we study to quiet that negative in us, to bring us peace of mind and to remind us we are exactly where we're supposed to be. Let me stop fighting my condition and accept it and learn how to be greater in it spiritually. That was a perfect verse about the need to quiet yourself. Continue what you're saying, sir.
Psalms 131 verse 2.
And it gave the example of what it's like to quiet yourself. Read.
As a child that is weaned of his mother.
As a child that's weaned of his mother. A child that's not weaned is constantly crying. And constantly...
a child weaned of his mother is satisfied.
Yeah.
Well, it also,
a child weaned of his mother is satisfied.
It also shows positive developmental growth for a child. Yeah. Because normally it takes about 5 to 9 months for a child to sleep independently and put themselves to sleep.
But the ones that aren't weaned are always, this child hasn't been weaned yet.
Exactly.
You can tell this child's not weaned yet.
That child's
'Cause it's
clingy,
constantly-
unhappy.
Yeah, it's constantly reactive and constantly crying because I haven't been weaned yet.
I want more attention. I want mommy's milk. I want mommy's time. I want to be held. I want to be pampered.
Yeah.
And when that's not given, then they're going to be angry.
He gave you the example.
So what he's saying, he's quieted like a child that's been given all the attention it needs. All the milk, attention, and love. I'm stable like that. But the crazy thing is this. He's writing this. Where is he at? Is he stable and comfortable? This dude's in a cave, has back issues. He's sleeping on some jacked up rock side. He's like, I am at peace and I'm quiet like a well-nurtured baby. Because I've been studying. My conditions, I'm in hell. I'm living in hell from an outside perspective, but I am at peace in my hell because I'm quieted with the scriptures. And I am peaceful inside of my condition like a baby who's been weaned and loved, and not with nannies and daycares and sitters, but had his mama's milk and love and a full undivided attention for many years. You ever see like the mom that has like 2 or 3 kids in a row? They all fighting for attention. You know why? Because they didn't have time for that one-on-one time. But David's like, because I studied, I have that envy under control. And I am at peace with my condition. Like a baby is at peace when they're 100% given all the focus and weaned for as many years as possible. Back in the old days, children were weaned till 3.
Yep.
So he's like, listen, I'm weaned, I'm at peace, and I have no care in the world like a child who was fully weaned.
And I like you brought that example because back in the day, it's a natural weaning, meaning they eventually grow out of the needy phase. Like 3 or 4 years old, I eventually grew out of the fact I got to sleep with my mom and father every day. But society would try to train us to wean your children earlier. It's the same thing in the spirit. We don't have as much time today to naturally learn how to wean off of strength all day to learn how to stand on our own 2 feet. We're trying to fast track brothers so they can stand on their own 2 feet when life and death or when spiritual development is at stake. You don't have time to keep playing this. I'm still developing. I'm still growing. I'm still learning, brother. Brother, you've been here for 5-10 years, man. You don't really have time like that. So you're not a child no more. You got to be leading people. You're going to be responsible for people like year 2. Year 2, year 3, you're responsible for new men. So you don't have time for that slow weaning process. Just like David. David had to expedite his weaning process. After he got out of his hometown, he had to learn how to grow up. You're a king, bro. And you're going to be a servant immediately.
Listen, you're a king, but you're on the run for 10 years. So the psychological head screw that could be. I'm supposed to be the king, but I'm on a running around, no water, uncomfortable conditions. But he was so locked in, it didn't matter how bad his conditions were. I am at peace like a fully nurtured child.
That's why I want to put that third part of the verse.
Okay.
131 verse 2 is the third part.
Okay, come. It says, my soul.
Now he's getting to the point. He said, I've quieted myself by studying. As a child's weaned of his mother, as if I'm fully nourished. I have everything I already need. And the third part is what? He's specifying it's his spirit. It's his soul.
His outlook.
The conversation in his mind. His heart. His passion. That part of him is what?
Is even as a weaned child.
That's the goal, bro. That's the spiritual goal. Your spiritual goal should be content like a child.
Like a child who's given all the attention that they need.
That's the spiritual
You can
goal.
see a child that like is loved.
Yeah.
They act different. Loved by mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, uncles. They just operate different than the kid who doesn't get that attention. So David is like that kid that don't get the attention always acts out.
Yeah.
Because they don't get that attention. So they'll take negative attention over no attention.
Yeah.
David's like, listen, where my spirit is, I am completely content with my situation. There's no bitterness of nothing because I've been studying. But a person who's not quieted through scriptures is the opposite of David. They're unhappy. They're aggravated. They're agitated. They're not at peace with their situation. They're complaining. They're murmuring. And the Most High shortens their life. He shortens their vitality. You'll look up and you'll lose 10 years of your life being angry. 20 years of your life being angry. That's you losing life. Life is too short to be angry and bitter about what you don't have or what you think you should have or what you didn't get or opportunities you didn't get. He's giving you the template. Read verse 3 like Dawiyah was saying though.
Con. Psalm chapter 131 and verse 3. Let Israel hope in the Most High from henceforth and forever.
But he explained how we're supposed to hope in the Lord. He explained how you're supposed to hope in the Lord by how he behaved in verse 2. The way you're supposed to hope in the Lord is to be behaved, meaning not break the laws, not sit back here and act out for attention. Because what do we do when we don't get our way? We start breaking the laws. We start misbehaving because we think we deserve something. You see, brothers, like, why are you out of order with these brothers? Why are you snapping at brothers? Why are you tearing stuff up? Why all of a sudden now you're disrespectful? I'm angry.
Why?
Oh, because you're not studying. You're not studying to be quiet. So you do what children do when they're throwing tantrums. When they're not weaned properly. When they don't get the milk they want and the love they want, they start acting up. And that's what we do. I don't get the gifts. I don't get my flesh satiated. I don't get the money. I don't get the rib. I don't get the time. I don't get the fun. I'm going to act up. I don't get to live my dreams. I'm going to act up in front of the Father and misbehave. David's like, listen, I behaved, I stayed in order, and I was quieted. First of all, you got to stay in order. Listen, even though you might be angry inside, you might feel that things is unfair, life is unfair, you still have to be in order. He says, I behaved, then I was quieted. Then I end up calming down and accepting my condition. But the acceptance of your condition doesn't come until after you behave and stay in order. Scripture says, be angry, but what? Sin not. So when you're angry and you're frustrated about your condition, just because you're angry doesn't give you the right to be out of order. With your elders, with your teachers, with your wives, with your husbands, you don't have a right to be out of order. He said behave first and then get quieted. You get quieted from the scriptures. You get quieted from reading this book and letting the scriptures recenter you. And when the scriptures recenter you and remind you what you're here for in the first place, then you become that child that's weaned. We're that child that's weaned because the milk is the what? The milk is the word. Yep. The milk should satisfy you. The word should satisfy you. But the problem is, the word don't be satisfying men. That's the problem. Men want to go out and run the streets and have fun and have a quote-unquote life or get the dream girl they want or live the pursuits they want because the word doesn't nourish them. The word doesn't satisfy them. David was like, these scriptures made me satisfied like a child that was weaned of his mother. Do the scriptures satisfy us like that? Or do you study enough to even get to the point that you're satisfied? What does satisfaction in the scriptures even mean? Does anybody know that? Do men even know what satisfaction in the scriptures mean in studying is? How many of us have studied to where we are at peace in ourselves? Yes, but how many of us study until we're spiritually content? Most of us don't. Most of us can't lock in for longer than 15, 20 minutes in the studying. Am I right or wrong? Am I lying? No. Most men can't study for longer than 30 minutes. So how are you going to sit back here and study until you're weaned in the scriptures like a mother's milk? Once again, the word is like the milk. He said, I studied until I was quieted. Are you studying until you're calm and under control and are content with your life situation? That studying might take weeks and months. How many of y'all have studied on a topic and a concept that's eating at you? How many of y'all have studied in the scriptures until you've learned that that's not what you want anymore? If you're not, how do you expect to sit back here and be satisfied in the spirit?
Is that what the scripture means when it says, I desire wisdom more than beauty?
Yes.
Whatever it took.
Yes. Because
Sacrificing.
you had to invest enough for you to realize what I'm putting my hands into is more valuable than what I perceive I'm losing out there in the world. Men meditate about what they don't get out the deal for years. Right or wrong? But we don't counteract that with studying and valuing our spiritual pursuits. So how do you think we have a chance at overcoming our envy? It's not going to happen. We don't study enough to be fed in the scriptures, enough to be content with what I've read for however long I need to read it. You got to read scriptures and study on concepts until that sustains you and you're content from your fleshly desires.
Like that milk, huh?
You got a hand up?
Yeah, kind of. I was going to say, I love to bring that up because it shows proof that studying shows a level of maturity. Without studying,
not just maturity, studying will help kill that desire, that lack of being fulfilled in your life.
Yeah.
Because what kills men in the truth? There's got to be something else out there. There's got to be something out there that makes me happy. If you're still eating, if it's eating at you about something that makes you happy, you haven't committed enough works, and study time enough to value what you're in. And for those of us, some of us are top heavy on one and not the other. Some guys will read books all damn day long, but not sweat and lose for the body. Those guys, you're gonna sit back here and you're not gonna be fulfilled. I've met a lot of bookworms who read and study, but they're selfish as hell. And then wonder why they don't understand what the Spirit of the Lord is about. Then you have other guys who are workhorses but don't want to study. And they're not content. And all they say is all I do is work all day. You don't use your brain. You don't study. You just want to be an ox and you're mad that you're an ox. Nobody's making you be an ox. Study to where you can be content in your life and this work. And the smart guys study and sacrifice your time and you'll see the fulfillment. It's one or the other. But you're going to find your contentment and you're going to be quieted by being in the book and studying. And studying enough to where what you're studying, what you're learning, what you've committed yourself to is greater than that feeling that hits me and says I'm losing out on something. Because that depression and sadness is the flesh. Where's that verse of Ecclesiastes again? It was 41 and 11. The mourning of men is about their bodies.
That's what you mad about.
When you're sad, that's really what you're... I'm mourning because my body's lacking. My mind's telling me to study. But my body's telling me to feed the flesh.
That's really what he was saying.
Baby.
I want to hurt nobody.
But I want what I want, though. I want what I want.
I want to ruin my rib.
Listen, this is the dilemma. That flesh is pushing you to go do what you want to do, right? And when that demon is pushing, are you going to study and commit yourself in the Lord until you're quieted? And can you behave yourself until you get to the book? How many times you got spirits riding on you? You rolling out, you see red lights, you see bars, you see the club. Let me just get home. Let me get off this highway. Let me get off these streets. Let me get off these streets. And then your body was like, no, don't go there, don't go that exit. Don't go that exit. And then you go there, exit. Get back on it, get back on. No, I can't do it. Can you behave yourself until you get home so you can study and quiet yourself. For those of y'all who don't know what all them lights and them pulls mean, them lights pull you out. And the neon lights, why is that? What's that red light over there? What's going on over there? Right? What's that purple over there? What's going on over here? Right? Vice City. Vice City. What's going on over here?
Prince is calling you out. Prince is calling you out.
Boop. Weird all those
All
flutes
of
and
my
sounds.
purple life, serving my
I was
flesh.
all wicked inside. That's boom.
Been living my life,
Boom, boom.
serving my flesh. Don't you know you can be up and keep the flesh?
That song was all of my purple life. That was pure sin.
I was pulling Willis in. My
It's
hands
like
on.
this.
I said, oh! Listen, bro.
Oh my God. But it's the truth, that. Can you behave till you go home and study? And then sit back here and you study, and then you can sit back here and quiet your thoughts?
And when a war taught me a class
and
before,
content that negativity in you and stifle that thing out?
and a war had a class before about, he said, I will walk with a perfect heart in my house.
Yeah.
The house turned to a lion's eye. Because, listen, man, out there, I want to be out there. I'm over here with you.
So I'm mad that I'm here.
I'm looking at you in the face. like, bro, you made it home, huh? Be thankful.
Nah, listen, brothers get home and they're angry that they went home out. And they didn't go out.
Don't talk to
And
me.
they take.
I'm decompressing. You're decompressing? No, you fought them lights and them bars out. The wrong bars.
Really, what it is, you really want them streets, and I'm mad that I'm here.
The streets is like,
I'm mad that I'm in these streets.
Erotic City was calling you. Prince was calling you back to the streets. You made it home to the peace of God, and you're mad that you want to be out there. Yeah, look
You
at
got song still in your head. Hey, it's only 1 o'clock.
Come back outside. If you come back outside.
The club is 15 minutes away.
There's the good time, don't you see? There's the good time.
Oh my God!
If you know, you know that.
I know that song. Son.
Listen, great songs. Listen, when you listen to it, the bass line is like, this is evil. Like, you listen to that, you go into some negative.
It's a sensual song.
It's a flesh out.
Embracing the flesh out.
It is out. If you heard it, you know. If you don't even play
Don't
it.
Listen to it. You will be in the wrong place. I woke up in that class. It's in my head. It's in my head. Read the Bible. Get some milk. Get some milk.
And drink the milk until you're satisfied. That's the whole point. Until that's greater than what you're losing. Listen, when you get home or whatever, if you're at the school, you get out of class, and them thoughts to go to do what you want to do. You got to fight through that, behave, and then quiet your mind through studying that. And you got to study until you're content with what the Most High is feeding you with. Because the reality is, either you're going to learn to get content with this milk that He's giving you, or you're going to go out in these streets and satiate the flesh. It's one or the other.
Get wasted and be a bad
But you can't be in the middle.
Yeah.
Because either you're going to study until you're satiated spiritually, or you're going to walk around angry until you get what you want in the flesh. How many men do you see in the truth doing that? They're angry, they're just going through the motion, they're just waiting for an opportunity.
And you're taxing your people.
Yeah.
Because somebody has to suffer behind you being unhappy. You don't just be unhappy solo out.
Yep.
You're not like mature like that. You know, I'm just gonna be happy and just be in my room in the dark and listen to sad songs. No, you're gonna be taxing people in the highways and byways.
And you're gonna sit back here and make the other brothers you're working with out just making their life miserable. Because I'm just not happy. And I'm throwing a fit. Yep. And I'm not doing what's necessary to pull this spirit off me. Yep. What we're trying to explain is all of us face this unhappiness. Yep. All of us face this envy. All of us have this covetousness of some sort in us. And the only way to neutralize it is to sit back here and find more value. The crazy thing is, this is why the scriptures, there's always greater levels of understanding in this book. And the reason that's there is because when you want to tap into the flesh, there's more here to get. There's more here to learn. There's more here to get stronger in. There's more here to get proper perspective to get you through your condition. But you have to invest. And I'm gonna say it for the brothers that work all the time with the camp. You got to log in study hours on your free time. A lot of times young men are like, I don't have a life, I don't have a life, I don't have a life. You're not supposed to have a life. How about your life is studying? How about your life is supposed to be reading? How about your free time is supposed to be in this book? That's what your free. Or I like to do music. Well, you might want to get rid of that hobby for a little bit. This is why, and I'm not knocking any brothers who like rap and stuff. This is why when young men come in, they want to rap. Like, listen, bro, stop all that right now. Plus, while you're doing studio sessions, you need to be studying.
Well, you know what? Because
once again, I'm not knocking brothers who rap. I'm not knocking brothers who tinker with music. I'm not knocking brothers who have these kind of hobbies. I'm not knocking it. But I tell you what, everybody that has a hobby, it's just more hours you're losing from studying so that you can sit back and quiet your spirit. The problem is we sit back and tinker with music. We tinker with cars. Yeah. We tinker with tracks and hip hop. And that's what quiets our flesh.
Because that's, even...
I've known guys, I'm going to play with these video games. It's better than being in the club.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's better than being in video games? Studying.
Yeah.
Studying is actually better than both. How about studying is better than both of them? I don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, I was just going to say, because even, in the spirit of music or, we trying to... I played instruments, and I used to write songs as well, but the problem is, to be good at anything, you have to constantly meditate on it. To be successful in anything, in any realm, that has to be an obsession. Yeah. To write bars all day. You're just thinking about music all day long. That's all you're thinking about. That's the only way to be successful in that realm. To sit here in video games. You know what? I used to play video games too. I was pretty good back in the day when I was like 15, 16. You had to meditate that all day long. You coming up with Call of Duty strategies all day long, bro. Yeah. To be an artist is always looking about what's the next articulate viewpoint. I'm looking for new painting pieces. It's all the same spirit. To be good at anything, it's pure dedication, pure discipline, pure meditation. But the problem is, if you want to be good at one realm, you lose another realm. There's no balancing in that. You can't be a super Bible guy and a super rapper, or a super Bible guy and a super artist, or a super Bible guy and a super pianist. I want to play piano, but you know what I realized playing the piano? I need at least 3 to 4 hours a day to be good at piano. I don't have 3 or 4 hours a day to give to piano. So therefore, I'm going to be very mediocre at piano for the rest of my life. This is what it's going to be. If I didn't have that skill coming into this, it's not going to happen right now. I don't have the free time to do it right now. And that's what we all kind of learn when we're doing hobbies. We're doing things on the side. You know what? There's a sacrifice. You lose on that end. So, music is great, but if you want to be a Bible teacher, it's not going to be the case.
And I'm going to say this. Bible teacher is cool, but if you want to sit back here and fight off the envy of the devil, because we can go on to Bible teaching all we want. If you got to study so you don't walk around here being unhappy about the choice you made.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men walking here, they do this truth thing, 5 to 7 years later, they're unhappy about their choice. But they log in barely enough time to even really understand what this Bible is about, but they're unhappy. They dive in because they have zeal. Yeah. What's being shown is zeal ain't enough. Zeal ain't enough. You got to put more than zeal. You got to put more than this a try hard, a can-do attitude. That's not enough, bro. If you don't study, if you don't commit your mind to this book, if you don't fight through your tiredness when the information is coming to you, if you don't fight, as you're dozing off and you're fighting, you're tired, if you show the Most High that it don't matter how tired you are, I'm going to lock in, that spirit will leave you. Yep. That spirit will leave you. But you keep feeding it, whatever you feed gets stronger. If you really want to fight, Most High will give you a way to get through it. It's that simple. But a lot of us have good intentions, but we don't put the work in to truly fight to control that flesh that's inside of us. Because when we come in the truth, yes, you get knowledge, you get wisdom, you get understanding, but you know what's still there? That goddamn envy. And the older you get, your envy matures. How about that?
Perfection.
It matures. Now you start sitting back here and questioning your life. Now you're in your dirty 30s, and you're like, man, I don't know, man. What about health insurance, huh? I thought about that shit in my early, like, damn, what about health insurance, my dude? What about 401ks? What about retirement, my nigga? I say it like that. I'm sorry. Well, these are thoughts. These mature, damn, envious thoughts pop in your head.
Yeah.
How long I'm going to sit back here and do this? How long can I keep up? And then the scripture says the spirit quickeneth. And that's the truth. And then you got to study to where that doesn't become a stress anymore. When you're young, you might have sit back here and tell yourself, man, I wish I could do this, this, and this. But if you study, you realize all that stuff that I tell myself I missed was really nothing. A lot of guys, man, I wish I could sit back here and go out and have fun. All you're missing is STDs and stress and drama and treacherous dames. That's short-term flings that are probably going to give you something. Yes, sir.
Well, how about they're going to set you up?
That's another thing.
How about that?
Or if all these people that want friends and hangout buddies, all them hangout buddies aren't cool guys. All them hangout buddies,
They're cool. You gonna find how cool they really are.
You gonna find
They cold.
Cool guys.
They ain't cool.
And they cold, and they want something that you got, and you might not even realize where they're coming from.
So I can't tell you.
Let's not go there. Don't go too far with it. But let's just be honest. All those things you're thinking you're missing out there in the world, the reality about those things, all that glitter ain't gold.
Yeah.
What you gonna say?
I would say David understood that the peace of the Most High passes all understanding. We don't want peace. We don't value peace.
Well, that was what the class is about. Brothers pulling verses. I can't get to it. but the truth is, the peace of the Lord, the peace of the Lord is about it being happy that there's peace and quiet and that there's stability. But carnal Jake don't like stability. We want fun and spontaneity. Oh, that trip, you heard them gunshots, man, that was crazy. Pop, pop, pop. Let's go.
I jumped the fence.
The cops almost came, and when they almost got us, but they didn't. I got a memory. I got a story to tell. People like that stupid stuff, right? We was walking in the gutter in Devil's Den, and they started coming at us, and we ran. We got out of there. People live off of these dumb stories.
Dumb stories.
Well, what about you go to Devil's Den and they get you? How about that story? How about the story of them catching you and you didn't get out?
And there's lots of bodies.
I'm bringing out a story. Devil's Den is a place in San Antonio where you hang out and do dumb stuff.
It's a metaphorical place too, but it's a real place. It's a physical land.
But it's a physical place and a metaphorical place. When you go, you sit back here, and you tempt the devil out, and it don't always work out your way out. Somebody had a hand up. Okay,
I'm sorry. I had a close friend, 7 or 8 years. I tried to show him snippets here and there, but what fed most of the conversation was those stories.
Mm-hmm.
He was always reliving.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted to talk about.
And that's all that people value, right? And creating more fun memories. But you know what? That craziness. When you get yourself out of this arena, listen, you lose that protection. So you're not getting close calls no more. You getting punched in the mouth, literally and spiritually.
I got to pull a scripture real quick. Proverbs 10:23.
We're not finishing this stuff, man. So it's all good. We'll be all right. There's no hope. There's no hope.
He's found peace.
Proverbs 10:23. Proverbs 10:23. Just to contrast.
I'm not kidding. Psalms 131 was a monster.
Let off spiritual gun show now.
Proverbs chapter 10, verse 23.
Yeah.
It is as sport to a fool to do mischief.
Yes.
See, you're just a fool, bro. You need this. You're not living your life unless somebody's shooting at you.
Yeah. There's not excitement of these extreme highs, these extreme lows.
Somebody's not putting their hands on you. So somebody's not putting up, breaking teeth, and
this guy pulled a knife out on me, bro.
He put a knife out. Oh, I had good times.
Nah,
so you're not having car accidents. You're not having car flips while you're drunk and wake up. Oh, I almost died. That's the highlight of your life.
Yeah. A lot of people do. That's
the
what their
sport of
highlight
food.
is.
That's
Versus
a
sitting
sport.
back here and study. Why do you study? Why do you study to bring about this quiet so that you can be peace and be happy and content so that you don't stretch your neck out there and risk danger? This is why the Most High is like, listen, man, if you really want danger, danger's out there waiting for you.
It's not going nowhere.
It ain't going. You want it? There you go. But do you want to go out there and deal with danger and get scarred? Then come back? How many scars do you need? How many bad experiences do you need out there before you're like, man, I don't want the world no more? Because you will get those experiences. Listen, roofies are real. Men get roofie too, just so brothers know. Men get roofie. It ain't just women get roofie. Men get roofie.
It's more exciting when they roofie men than women nowadays. So the times have changed.
Oh, my goodness.
Times have changed. You think, oh man, look, these girls, they better watch, they better protect themselves. Look, you better protect yourself.
Bro.
You know what spirits out there, and people have, people are putting fentanyl on people's drinks now. People are dying, leaving the club. It's not just roofies to roofie. They're just
Well, that's bad too.
That's
why you gonna roofie you for? What they roofing you for? Just to see you stagger out in the damn outside of the club?
Bro,
That ain't what they want.
they want more than that.
I know.
Pull the scripture, read the scripture.
Sorry.
That's like,
No, you're good.
Proverbs chapter 10, verse 23.
uh-huh.
It is a sport to a fool to do mischief.
Mischief is harm, injury, damage, whether intended or not. So if you want to, in another word for it is ill consequence or a vexatious affair. You want to collect stories like a stupid idiot. You just want stories to tell. Versus having wisdom to tell. Read.
It says, but a man of understanding
But a man of understanding, read.
hath wisdom.
See, a man of understanding hold his mouth, they'll have wisdom to tell you. A fool opens his mouth, it gives you stupid stories out.
Yep. But wisdom is how you stay strong and how you prolong serving the Most High and gaining that protection.
Con.
Who doesn't want the protection of the Heavenly Father with him? Huh? The cost of protection is studying
That's true.
and committing yourself to the work. Can you deal with that cost? You want peace of mind? Study. Study when you get those flare-ups, those carnal flare-ups,
That's true.
those envious flare-ups, those flare-ups that tell yourself the burden of the Lord. Because every one of us get it. And do you have the capacity to study when you tell yourself the burden of the Lord? The ones who don't are the guys that are always on the border of leaving. Always on the cusp of leaving. They don't study enough to find peace in the work they do for the Lord every day. They just go to work, they do grunt stuff, and expect that to be okay with the Most High. You got to put the time in the book to get the peace of mind. He's not letting any of us get out of this. Keep going, Dolly. I'm sorry. You got more of that?
That was it.
Okay. So listen. Let's get back to James 4. I don't think we finished verse 10, did we? We didn't get to verse 10, did we? I don't think so.
Sir. We're verse 8.
Okay, let's matter of fact, no, we didn't even do that. We finished at verse 6. Let's go to verse 7. Give me verse 7.
James 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to the Most High.
So this is still about submitting and serving and accepting the conditions the Most High has us in. The submission means no longer am I going to lust and kill and desire and fight for the things I want. Submission is accepting what the Most High's got me going through. Let me find peace of mind and happiness in my calling. That's what submission is. But in order to submit, you got to study. When that envy rides up. Read on.
Resist the devil, and he will flee.
He's telling you the devil comes through envy.
Crazy.
Brothers be walking around with Diablo around their shoulders out, hanging out. And they don't resist that dude at all out. They let him in. Come on in. Come in the house. Take a seat.
I understand.
I want what you want.
Yeah.
But I got this God thing. I know I'm a Jew. I was born a Jew. So we'll go figure. So what are we going to do, Diablo?
That's
What should
a
we do?
crazy situation.
But it's the truth. What do I was born into it. I have no choice, right? You have a choice. Maybe that murder was the case.
Yeah.
And then the devil keeps talking to Snoop. That's happening to brothers too.
Yeah. That's fact.
But once again, the sad thing is,
Or the
I'm making light of it.
or the devil's advocates in their head.
But yeah,
This is-
look, but don't touch. You know, the
Right, I
crazy
can't do
Al
nothing.
Pacino and stuff.
I can't do nothing.
But what's the answer? The answer is: do you study enough to pull these thoughts off?
Nope. Should
Do you study enough to control this sadness in you? Do you study enough to stifle this void that you have inside of your heart? There's part of you that tells yourself there's something else out there that you're not getting out the deal, and you need to go get that. That's a thought that every single one of us has. And are you attacking that with scriptures and studying? Do you study why this is the place you're supposed to be? Why serving the Most High is the right thing to do? There's tons of classes online. We have 600 plus classes that take you to the right direction. Why don't people study? Why don't they study? Because they've allowed an avalanche of negative thoughts. You know why people study? They'll tell themselves, you know what, I'm too far behind. I'll never catch up. I'll never be able to catch up to what this brother's doing. So why am I killing myself? The carnal mind does all type of negative things. To tell yourself to slow up and not to try anymore. But once again, verse 7 says, submit yourself to the Lord and resist the devil. That resisting is based on studying. Read on. And he says, and he shall flee from you. And I always say, that spirit will leave you, but he'll come back. It isn't like that spirit leaves and stays gone. That spirit leaves and it comes back. And you have to always be studied up. This is why we even tell sisters, and we tell brothers when they're teaching their ribs, don't just counsel their ribs when they screw up. You got to teach them all the time. So they're studied up enough to deal with the issues that are hitting them. Same thing with brothers. You got to study, you got to be in the habit of always being in the book. Not just studying here and there. This is an everyday thing. How many brothers, whether it's the truck drivers, the people on the passenger seat, are you guys listening to classes and writing notes and studying on these long trips? I always hear about this long trip over here. The brothers studying during this time? Hypothetical question. Because I always say, there's no time. There's time. There's time to keep the scriptures in your head. But what do you do with your free time? What do you do with that quiet space? You sleeping? You tinkering? You fiddling around? I remember brothers, they would sit back and always be on TikTok. Dude, listen, I got a verse from TikTok. Brothers, they sitting back here and sitting like and they'll sing a verse. Like, ooh, that's deep. They pulled a verse on TikTok. Can you sit back here and get in that book and study versus pulling TikTok verses like that's a class? And then there is a difference from listening to a TikTok statement versus going in the book and reading yourself and putting the work in and seeing the words yourself. There is a difference because you got to make the word yours. For brothers who are trying to study and trying to figure this out, yes, we're teaching. But can you sit back here from the classes that we have and can you take these notes, take them, write down the notes and study and make them yours? And make these words yours. Because the words are not yours, you're not going to be able to quiet that envy in you. If you're living vicariously from class to class, that's not enough. If you're living just off this class on Monday, some Shawans on Wednesdays, Dawiyahs on Fridays, and ours on Saturday. That's not enough, man. Are you going to take these words home, restudy them, read them, say them out loud, so that they're yours? Your brothers study like that? They're reading and they're quoting, they're reading the line and they're breaking it down in their head.
And they're rehearsing.
And they're rehearsing it. How else is it going to stick? I'm not joking. This is what it takes. And if you're not rehearsing it like that, how do you expect to make studying and this word yours? If you're not doing that, then you are just working. And you're going to find that this work is difficult.
That's the ox's battle. Because the cerebral guy's battle, hey, I know a lot of stuff.
But I don't want to put nothing in action.
No substance, though.
Because I don't want to put nothing in action. I want to lose nothing. That's the smart guy's angle. You're going to be smart as hell, knowledge puffs up. Now let's go touch this work and get humble. When you're touching mud, when you're in the slums, when you're in cat houses, not the cool cat house, the bad cat houses, when it's all kind of like pet dander and you're sneezing and you're coughing, dog houses, poop houses, rat houses, literally rat houses, roach houses. Then you're sitting back here and know what service really is. So it goes both ways. But you can't just do that and not study and not be reinforcing the book. Anyway, let's continue in James, man. Read verse 8.
James 4, verse 8. Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you.
When you make studying yours, when you sit back here and you start cleaving to these scriptures to bring you peace of mind, that's when the Lord comes to you. But you have to be proactive in your studying. You have to be proactive in grasping these spiritual ways of looking at things.
And I find contentment.
Well, that's the point. But you can't even get contentment until you pursue it. You have to pursue the study. You have to pursue how to look at things, how the Lord wants you to look at things. And when you do that, Most High will start showing. He said he'll draw nigh to you. But how does he draw nigh to you? He gives you confirmations that your thinking is right. He'll send you confirmations from different arenas to confirm that the pursuit you're doing is the right pursuit. And when you get these confirmations, you're supposed to dig deeper, study more, conform your mind even more that direction.
It's your walk with God.
But if you don't study and you don't commit, you don't cleave in that arena, you'll never understand this. Read on.
Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinner, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded.
You got to purify. You got to do it. We be asking the Most High to take a spirit off you. How many of y'all did that before? Take this lust demon off me. Cool. Listen, does it ever work? Lord, take this lust demon off of me. That shit don't happen. That'll work. We're going to take the spirit off of you.
Off of him.
Like it's some Marvel show act. The spirit is just, the lust demon leaves you. It's not true. I don't want to leave him. It doesn't work like that.
Ghostbusters act.
That's my point. Listen, that negative leaves you when you get in this book and study. And you study that spirit off of you. But how many of us have studied a negative spirit off of you?
Doesn't study, I'm out of here, man.
That's the only way. That's the only way to beat it. That's the only way to beat it. Because when your lust is on 10, do you want to even open a book? Nope. You don't even want to open a book when your lust is on 10. That's how you know the answer is right there. How many brothers have said answers? I got to leave the truth to clear my head. What? I mean, you're leaving to not read the book. I got to leave the truth to get my head right. What are you talking about? You leaving is you not getting your head right. And you believe that malarkey you tell yourself?
Not by now, yeah.
Bite your tongue.
Yeah.
The whole point is, listen, you get clarity once you purify your hearts, ye double-minded, by making a choice that you're not going to be double-minded anymore. That's how you purify your heart. I'm not going to be double-minded. It's this way or one way. Listen, even cats in the streets tell you that. Get down and lay down, man. You going to be about these drugs or what? Right or wrong?
I want to be a good guy.
You going to be about this all the left hands, and you going to be about this left hand stuff or what? If you're not, what did Pimp C say? All y'all non-sippers, all y'all whatever. Get the heck up out of here, all right? Even cats in the Jake is telling you, make a choice. Yeah. Everybody in the South knows about them, all right? Yeah. When you heard that 666 Mafia, I was like, Damn, they real about this.
He's honest about it.
All y'all dudes, all y'all squares, get these squares out of here.
Get out of here. We ain't playing with you. I said, oh, if I want my shit, you gonna kick my ass.
Yes. If you ain't about that dirt, you can't be with these cats right now. You can't be at this after party.
Yeah.
And I accept that.
Yeah. Not for you.
But it's the same thing with the Lord.
Yeah.
Are you going to be double-minded or not?
True.
Make your choice. Then the Lord comes to you. Study to not be double-minded.
True.
Read on.
God, be afflicted and mourn and weep.
He said, accept the affliction.
That's the hard part.
Because in order to sit back
I'm
here
not getting it.
and not be double-minded, you have to accept the good that comes from serving God and the bad. That is how you eliminate the double-minded nature. Because we're double-minded because I don't like the affliction. I don't like the affliction. I don't like the mourning, and I'm weeping because I'm losing somewhere. Because in serving the Most High, you're gaining a lot in the spirit and you're losing a lot in the flesh. And we don't like that trade-off. But in order to not be double-minded, you have to accept the losses. You have to accept the fact that your flesh is getting attacked. And you're going to lose in the flesh. I got to accept the mourning that comes from not getting what the flesh wants. What did we read in Ecclesiasticus? The mourning of a man is about their bodies. I got to accept that my body is going to be mourning. I got to accept that I'm dying in the flesh to gain in the spirit. And once I accept that trade-off, that I'm losing my life, I'm losing the things that I thought I should have. Once I accept the trade-off, then I'm not double-minded no more. Then the Most High can work through me. Now I can grow. He said, be afflicted and mourn and weep. Read on.
Let your laughter be turned to mourning.
Why did he say, let your laughter be turned to mourning? Why did he say that? Let your laughter be turned to mourning. Stop looking for the fun. Stop looking for the break. Because when you're in this work, when you're in the carnal, you're always looking for the out. I'm working to get my break so I can cut up. I'm just waiting for my time to leave. How many brothers are like that? After class, I'm getting the hell out of here. After Saturday, brotherhood, what? I'm on these streets, son. I'm out here. So he said, let your laughter be turned to mourning. Stop looking for the comfort and accept the discomfort. And if you can do that, now you can grow. Now you're cooking with oil. Or with grease, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Read on, that's it. We're in the country.
And you enjoy the heavy.
Now you're cooking with grease. He says, and enjoy it. He said, what? And enjoy it, and your joy to heaviness. All it's saying is, if you're in a double-minded nature, stop looking for the comfort. If you're wrestling with the flesh, if you're wrestling with envy, stop looking for the ease. Didn't Micah chapter 2 and 10, what did Micah 2 and 10 say? This is not your rest. This is not your place of ease. Stop looking for it. Why do brothers, I'm not sure if I want to do this? Because you're looking for an out. You're looking for comfort. And that envy is rolling on you. That envy of what you're not getting is rolling on you. You know what to kill that spirit of envy? Is to stop looking for the laughs. Stop looking for the comfort. Stop looking, accept the affliction. Accept the pain. And if you accept it and get the lesson behind it, you can grow and you'll kill that double-minded nature. Yes, sir.
Judah said that the Most High didn't try us in the fire like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
You know what he's saying? Our battle ain't as bad as we think it is. And those patriarchs had it way harder than us. But the problem still remains. We think that we're getting the short end of the stick in this realm. And we can count all the burdens the Most High has put on us. Like we read in Jeremiah 23. But the Lord is like saying, if I stop looking for breaks and laughter and fun and ease, then I can accept the conditions I'm in. Stop looking for the comfort. And that kills that double-minded nature. Why are you looking for a break? If the Most High ain't giving you a break, then stop looking for the break. If this ain't the season for a rib, then stop looking for a rib. If this ain't the season for my off days, and this ain't gonna be the time for my off days. If I don't have time for myself, then this just isn't the time for that. Stop looking for it. And then when you stop looking for it, what ends up happening? You get it down the line. He's telling you how to break that double-minded mind. Accept the affliction. Stop looking for the ease. Stop looking for the laughs. Stop looking for the joy, because this ain't the season for it. Once we all accept that, we can get resettled and get back in that book. Instead of the laughs, get back in that book and study. And that'll give you the clarity you need to overcome the battle you're facing. Read on.
I got to pause right here.
No, let me finish. I got to get to verse 10. Read on.
God, humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord.
And this is how you humble yourself. You humble yourself by completing this entire process. You humble yourself by choosing not to look for the laughter and the comfort. Stop looking for the break. Stop looking for the ease. If that flesh is writing you about what you're not getting, whether it's women with time with their husbands, brothers with the comfort and time they think they deserve to reload or reset their minds, whatever is eating at you about not getting it, starve it out. That's what he's saying. Stop looking for it. Stop torturing yourself, stressing out about why I don't have it. Because me thinking about why I don't have what I want just makes you more sorrowful. He said, stop looking for laughter, stop looking for what you're not getting, and accept the sorrow and the mournful situation you're in. And get the lesson from that. And that's how you show humility towards the Heavenly Father. Which means, on the contrary version of that, give me Proverbs 13 and 10. So, when me being humble is me accepting the affliction, accepting the condition, mourning and weeping, and not running to laughter, not running to ease, not running for a break. Because so many times we want to break out the battle. So if humility is accepting the battle, then what is pride? Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 10.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 10. Only by pride cometh contention.
Only by pride comes contention. So when you're contending in yourself, guess where it comes from? So when you're reading James about this person that's lusting to have and killing and desiring to obtain and fight a war, and they don't get it, that's a person that's got pride in them. Because they're not accepting the condition the Lord's got in them. A person with humility, like we just read in James 4 and 10, they accept their condition. They accept their affliction. They accept the mournful condition the Lord's got them going through, and they overcome it. A proud person is constantly contending with why I got to go through this. Why is this fair? Why am I suffering at this level? Why am I losing so much? That's how you know you're in pride. You have pride in you. When you can't accept why the Most High's got you going through what you're going through. Why you're losing at the rate that you're losing. Why you're uncomfortable at the rate that you're uncomfortable. A humble person accepts their discomfort. Accepts the condition they're going through. Accepts the Most High's putting them through something that they have to just weather through until the Most High takes them out of it. It is the difference between a humble person and a proud person is based on your acceptance of your condition. What was you going to pull?
I'll get you Proverbs 28 and 25. Different scripture.
Is it going to take it away from me?
Right.
Okay. Did that make sense what I was saying? How a humble person can accept their life condition and they're not contending in their head about why they have to go through what they're going through. Versus the proud person can never accept the condition the Lord's got them going through. They're never content. It's never enough. I'm always unsettled. That proud person is constantly talking about the burden of the Lord. Yes, I.
In a long story short, the proud person, well, the humble person is seeking, or the humble person is actually finding the peace
By accepting the difficulty of the condition.
and then the proud person is looking for or asking questions, never getting answers, being upset.
And because they're looking for an answer to justify their flesh.
How about putting in the work to get the answers?
I want the answer I want is not the answer the Bible's going to give me. I want an answer that's going to give me the laughter.
Yeah.
I want the answer that's going to give me the fun and the physical release.
Yeah.
Versus the answer that it's not your time for your physical release. It's not your time for your fun. It's not your time for your laughter. It's not your time to get your way. That's really the essence of where the pride and the humility kick in. Can you accept this is not your time? And it might not be your time for years. Listen, the Most High, and I'm going to get to you, the Most High deals with us over periods of time. Can you retire? Can you accept this is not the season for your rib? And that, what I mean by season, there's like 4 seasons in a year, right? That means it might be 3-4 season intervals. This ain't your time. And can you accept that? If you can accept it, you have humility. If you cannot accept it and you're contending that process, you have pride. Let them go with this.
Proverbs 28 verse.
Proverbs 28 and what? 25?
Yeah, 28 chapter 25th verse.
Come on. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 25. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife.
It's still my proud heart. It's still my ego involved. What I want, me, what I think, what I care about, my concerns, not the Most High's concerns, not the camp's concerns, not the body's concerns, not my brother's concerns, my personal selfish needs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now I'm coming from that angle. It stirs up strife. But strife from who? Strife from myself.
Yeah.
Now I'm conflicted. I'm not sure. I'm angry. I don't know if I want to be here. I'm here. I'm not here. I'm just walking through the motions. Right? Read.
But he that putteth his trust in the Most High.
Because my pride is the son of my distrust. Warren said it earlier about mammon. What is mammon in the Chaldean? It's false confidence.
Yep. What you trust in.
Because a man has this, what he trusts in, which is not the Most High, and it is false. You're disturbed because you put confidence in fake things. We'll blow up somebody for having confidence in the American dream. We don't blow ourselves up for having confidence in some stupid idea we came up with.
Yeah. It's still the American dream.
It's the American dream.
It's still the flesh. It's still the flesh. The other American dream says I can do what I want to do. I can pursue whatever pursuit I want, and it's okay. Yeah.
You know?
It says, but he that putteth his trust in the Most High
and accept my season and my condition, read,
shall be made fat.
I'm looking for fatness in the end, but I can't get because I'm complaining about why am I not fat right now?
Because the truth is this: what the Most High is trying to get us to see, and we'll get to it another time. What is your definition of fatness? Is it gaining in the flesh, or you want to be fat in the spirit? This is why the Most High draws and dries us up for so long.
That's true.
He's trying to teach us a different set of values, and he's trying to teach us how to love spiritual things more than being a slave to what we read about in Ecclesiastes 41. Most men and women are slaves to Ecclesiastes 41:11. The mourning of men is about their bodies. Most of mankind can't get past that. I start to mourn. I deal with deep levels of sadness because I don't get what I want in the flesh. Everybody has a different set of love languages, different set of things that make them feel validated and happy as human beings. And when we don't get those things, we're sad. The Most High sits back here, knows the things that validate us in the flesh, and purposely starve us from those things. He purposely starves us from those things that make the body happy. He purposely establishes a mournful situation to get you to choose, am I going to sit back here and let go of this morning and choose to find happiness in serving the Lord? That is an aspect of spiritual growth. By starving us out, starving our body out. When he starves our body out, that is a way to make us or push us to a choice. Am I going to choose the pursuit of the fulfillment of my body to bring about happiness in my life? Or am I going to find a way to find happiness in serving the Lord? And can I be at peace with me serving the Lord while simultaneously starving out the flesh? Does that make sense? And the contention and the battle with my desire to appease the flesh versus finding happiness just in servitude is what is defined as pride. When I can't learn to find peace in my servitude, and I can't do this without me getting what I want in the flesh, that's my pride. And that contention and those wars are me fighting to get what I want in the flesh versus accepting how the Most High develops our spirit. Does that make sense?
Huh.
I don't want to get no deeper than that. That's it. Listen, to all y'all for tuning in. It's 10:30. We are at our max. But listen, class, from the start, man. It was a lot of good information from the start. And class in the beginning kind of set the tone for what we were kind of pushing towards the end. So if you guys can check the replay out, it'll be very advantageous to do so. We will try to, I guess, finish this thing out next week. And once again, Israel at the water for tuning in. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Shalom Shalom's class. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.